What was all this barking? What is going on? Look, Echo and Cyan come in. They know what what that is. Super cultured people who play games on a console have the culture to immediately identify, holy shit, it's the dog ending from Silent Hill 2. Then Metal Crazy, this human being that is just playing games on PC, comes in and asks, "What's the barking?" This is what I mean. See? It's a perfect encapsulation of culture and PC. Only played Silent Hill 1. Yep. And that's where your life went completely wrong. When you never followed up on that. But hey, welcome to the stream. Hello Echo, Cyan, Metal, how are you guys? Culture, dog barking music. Identifying the dog barking music from the best ending in the best game on PlayStation 2, yes. Best meme in video gaming, exactly. That too. It might be one of the best memes in video gaming, for sure. I don't know if it's the best, but it's like... It might be, it might be. So, we are playing A Summer with the Shiba Inu. Not Dog Police, no. It's a visual novel. It's a visual novel by Ratalaika Games. But I started it this afternoon. It's about a Shiba Inu that comes back home to Shiba Island. She is looking for her lost brother who disappeared on the day that she won the 9th arena. Arena is like a battle royale that Shibas participate in to dictate their ranking in society. It's virtual reality, but the line delivery makes it even funnier. From the dog ending, absolutely. The thing is, our main character, Sid, has won Shiba Battle Royale. She won the Battle Royale, the final arena, Arena 9, and took the prize, which is a feather that makes your wishes come true. And then she left Shiba Island to never return, supposedly to never return, taking the feather with her and not allowing anyone to ever get it again. Shiba the Hungry Games, exactly. So now that she's back looking for her brother in Shiba Island, she's being assaulted by people that want to take her on, get like a rematch, try to take the feather away from her. It's a big plot. I didn't expect that at all. I expected a slice of life visual novel, and I got this really amazing battle royale fighting for your life, but not really because it's virtual reality, but fighting for your life and your cast. Yeah, like we're actually fighting for, like, the point of the battle royale is to break an amulet that every dog has, which is like their ID or whatever. If you break it, they disappear from the virtual reality world. She actually went for the kill in one, because she couldn't reach the amulet of a dog. She went for the kill, and she actually murdered a dog in real life. He died in real life. So there's that as well. It's a whole plot. I was super impressed. I was really like, oh my god, I I want to know more. So yeah, although I started this afternoon, it was going to be just the one afternoon. I didn't beat it, so I'll be trying to finish it off. But hey, if you don't understand something and you care about asking, go away. Go away. No, not go ahead. Not go away. Go ahead, and I'll try to explain it. I'm just trying to give you a recap so you know what's going on. It's the Matrix. You die in game. You die in the real world. Yeah, I guess. Who started watching this afternoon? Okay. So, we were just getting the memories from Arena 5 before this, and now we're actually getting back into Arena 5 on the present day. The story jumps around a lot between timelines. It's called Summer with the Shiba Inu, but I have no idea why. Because this spans 16 years of story. so there's that. It's not just a summer. But let's see what happens. I guess probably the guy that was co-oping with me on Arena 5, who died, I didn't help him, probably wants a rematch with me. I knew I shouldn't have wandered down a deserted alley, even if it was a shortcut to the MRT station. The island denizens are so unkind to me, one of their own. Will I be able to survive this arena again? I feel ashamed to face IU. I don't go by the beach house. Like the re-challenge of Arena 9, I bide my time. That sounds like David. Yeah. I was co-oping with IU, but then we faced the last two remaining enemies, were two dogs that were also working together. And while IU was fighting one, instead of helping IU, I took the time to undo a trap and use it on the other guy, but the other guy killed IU before I could return. Before I could help. Because I didn't help immediately. How's it going, Melty? What I observed from Hayfen's re-challenge is that the dogs, other than me and her, only act like how they would in the past, unless told otherwise. I know that ahead of IU, but I'm sure she could also figure that out. Hayfen figured it out quickly, since it was obvious that the fun shoe in the re-challenge couldn't be the real one. My strategy this time is to wait for IU to appear, since she should be the only other actor I should care about. So I have been mostly following the coastline, avoiding the mainland. Pretty passive of me, but hey, not bothering with the NPCs happened to work out in Hayfen's re-challenge. Thing is, what to do once IU and I find each other. I'll slay her with my lightning-fast reflexes. That's just wishful thinking. The best bet is to find her before she finds me and keep her from noticing me until I eliminate her somehow. You can't just show the protagonist like that all the time? What? Why not? She's always been the one with the sharp reflexes. But I'm also more mature and wiser now. I've seen enemies much smarter and more agile as I experienced more arenas. If I could go head to head against those Shiba Inus and win, I can go against IU. Oh dog, but I'm so out of practice. Not anymore. I argue on and on with myself. The strength and stability of mind that came up with being a regular arena contestant had all but left me, and I have to be coaxed into a calm state. It's not the classic VN format. Oh, because they're always showing the protagonist. Yeah, I feel like all the Retalaika VNs do show the protagonist, don't they? Now that I think about it. Syrup, strawberry vinegar. Oh, my alarm. I should start streaming, guys. Stream starts in 10 minutes. Don't forget to be here in 10 minutes for the start of the stream, guys. Yeah, it's true that most VNs don't show the protagonist, which I don't like, to be honest. It's always like, look at the cute boys, don't look at the female protagonist. I play too many Otomes. Argue on and on with myself. The strength and stability of mind that came with being a regular arena contestant and all but left me. Then I have to be coaxed into a calm state. Present day, Island Year 224, Arena 5, Day 5. Several days pass without progress. What if IU is also waiting for me to come to her? I wonder if there's a time limit for the re-challenges. We could both agree not to end the arena and spend the eternity doing separate things. Theoretically, I could write several books in here if given enough time. Yeah, but how do you take them out of here? But I'd rather speed up the process. There are other things to be done, and I need to return to Max and Quayle. I guess I should make more efforts. Time to venture further inland. With that decided, I head into the palm forest. Sometime later. The bright summer sun bakes on my fur, the sparse palms not offering much in terms of shade. It's much hotter, only now I realize that the water by the beach kept the area cool. I think about the beach house. It was one of my favorite safe houses out of all the arenas I've been through. Perhaps it was also the fact that I freely trusted another dog at the time that made the beach house a good memory. I got more jaded each subsequent arena. There are times where I think back and ask myself, what would I change if I get the chance to? I never answered myself the same way. One day I would think, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Another day, in another mindset, I would think that my actions were perfectly justified. There was no resounding consensus. What I do know is that I still feel shame and guilt about my past in the arenas. But because the result I got from my behavior are coveted by others, it was easy to trick myself that everything was but a necessary sacrifice. From the corner of my eye, I glimpse a blur of movement. It's IU! This can't be good. I wasn't prepared. I need to buy some time. I run back onto the beach. Maybe this was a bad idea with the rocks and sand. As I slow down, IU is catching up with me. I throw myself sideways to avoid her lunge. I quickly turn to face her so I'm not caught off guard again from the side. Our eyes meet and it pains me to hold her gaze. IU doesn't make another move, nor does she speak. Not wasting the moment of peace, I back away several steps, all the time beadily watching her. I'm tempted to say something snarky, but considering the circumstances, I don't think she would appreciate that. If anything, she deserves to say the first snarky comment to me. So, hello? That sounded so bad. Look, I'm not going to fight you. IU sits down, her posture open and relaxed. Must be a catch though, right? I just want to talk. Well, what do you want to talk about? I just wanted to say, you're a horrible dog. You re-challenged me just to say that? But you're right, it is true. Can't you even pretend to understand for one moment? Dogs don't always do something with some high and mighty reason, Sid. I'll bet that even you can't name a reason for every single thing you do. Actually, I consider a main scheme of things. I don't think that's what she wants to hear, though. No, you're right about that. At least you can admit to that. Listen, I know we were really young when this whole thing happened. But when I got the IM that we'd be able to challenge you one-on-one, I immediately wanted in. You wanna know why? Her tone is gruff, and I get the feeling she's not quite getting to the point yet. You wanted to prove how you've changed since then? Well, yes and no. I still haven't forgotten about what happened during that arena. Yes, that much I can tell. So, is revenge what you want? Ha! When you put it like that. But I wouldn't say that. I just want to understand. Even though I'm not sure if that is possible. What is it you want to understand? I still haven't made peace with the arenas. It's not about you in particular. I was hoping that coming into an arena once again, after my ranking had been finalized, could, I guess, shed some light looking at it retroactively. I've realized that even though I went through the motions of the arenas and even didn't end up doing too badly, I still felt so lost. I don't know what any of this means to me. This arena was the last time I remember feeling something for myself. It's not because of you, it's mostly that I was still young and my understanding of the world was so certain, so optimistic. When they mentioned the re-challenge, I wondered if, somehow, I could find that feeling again. I have no idea how to respond here, but I've got to be smooth. Not to mention it's pretty jarring. We haven't spoken in years, yet she's pouring her heart out all of a sudden. What have you found so far by being back in the arena? So far? Nothing. You see, my plan was to come to terms with what happened between us, but that couldn't happen until you and I met again, no? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. This is so awkward. Like, did you want to talk more about it? Are you suggesting that we talk more about it? Yes, if you want to. To be honest, I hadn't thought about that. My plan was... A force slams into me from behind, winding me. The attacker and I fall into the water. I reel under the pain, my side throbbing. I feel paws scuffing and grabbing me, inching around my neck. My mind barely pieces together the fact that this is the same dog that dived on top of me. I struggle and kick the water, twisting my torso. There's a splash and another dog dives into the water from above. This one misses me by some distance, though since it failed to knock into me with a dive like the first dog did. It was the pair of dogs that had ambushed me in the arena in the past. Ayu, did she... Alright. I know his pendant location. Eliminate on the spot. Boom. Get destroyed, nerd. Fish sticks. If they're like NPCs, that means... Expecting the attack and the dog trying to wrap his paws around me, I twist away. Still underwater, I grab on his shoulder and pull him towards me. I remember where his pendant is located from the past arena. With my other paw, I punch him squarely where his pendant is. Without my other paw pulling, I wouldn't have the strength to break the pendant by a swipe underwater. I only learned that in arenas after this one. The pendant doesn't break. Even applying the experience I learned in the arenas, I still don't have the physical strength to eliminate him underwater. In my zealousness to eliminate this dog, I'm poorly prepared for the second dog. She got closer to me while I was occupied with her teammate. Is every dog a female in this game? Now she latches onto me from behind, feeling up my torso for my pendant. Good move, but you're gonna die. Ayu lands in front of me, white bubbles partially obscuring my vision. Oh no, this isn't good. Ayu had made a good move and now I'm totally outnumbered. With a powerful battle, she charges towards me. Much as I want to continue my aggressive retaliation, I should get myself out of here before it's too late. Once I'm on land, I'll have a better chance against them. I twist my torso and kick, putting distance between me and both opponents so they shield me from Ayu. Ayu knocks into the two of them and I see them wrestling, air bubbles erupting from their mouths and noses. With that, I make my escape. With that distraction, I am able to put some distance between me and the competing dogs. Kicking and pawing my way to the surface, I paddle as quickly as I can towards the shore. I've got to make it there alive. Once on shore, I don't even bother shaking myself dry. My claws tear into the sand and I push my legs to the limit as I dash towards what I know to be the base of the remaining arena competitors. The second duo, Ayu and I, call them the Shiba Inus. Entering the sparse palm forest, I can't afford to slow down, twisting and turning my way around the palm trunks. I almost slip several times with my velocity. It must be close now. I slow down to a trot and try to conceal myself so I won't be caught off guard if the two Akitas catch me first. There they are. So either Ayu or the other, or both, should be on my tracks. The difficult part comes with not knowing where Ayu is now. I need to time this precisely or I will be the one in trouble. I scoop up a rock from the ground and weight it in my paw. Throw it to the right of me. Like clockwork, they are guaranteed to hear it and think it is a dog. They will know exactly where the rock hit and thus go patrolling. Almost as if programmed to behave that way. Throwing rocks will be the distraction. I snap out of my daydreaming. Such stealth. I really play too much of the Tomb Digger games. The Tomb Raider? You don't throw rocks in the Tomb Raider game, do you? Oh, maybe you do in the more recent ones. I don't remember. Sadly, that's how things work in real life. Though since arenas are emulated reality, does that mean they're a video game in a sense? Stop the Sid thoughts. Focus. I've got to distract them, but not with a rock. With that very loud distraction, I wait a few brief moments to see that the two Akitas have sprung up and are looking around in my general direction. I quickly move towards the beach before they get close enough to spot me. Hopefully I'll run into Ayu or the other dog anytime now. I listen carefully as I walk. I am definitely being tailed, though I'm not sure if they have a visual on me. The ground I covered so quickly while sprinting seems so vast at a walk. I would have run, but being quiet is the priority. If the two Akitas are provoked, I could not outrun them. Hurry, Ayu, take my bait. There. Ayu is in the distance, looking at the ground. Following my footprints, perhaps? I remember telling her a story of our ancestors having a keen sense of smell. I'd be toast if technology hadn't come and caused our devolution. Anyhow, time to cause another distraction. By this time the Akitas have seen me, but they are tailing me discreetly, perhaps deciding to observe me first. Maybe I just don't look fun to them yet. I have an idea. This should get them going. I stop and look up and down slowly, as if looking for something. Then I look back at him and make eye contact for the first time. I yelp and flatten my body. The switch is instant, like a ball being tossed. Which is a funny idiom from our ancestors' instincts. Like a ball being tossed, the two immediately enter hunting mode, growling and taking off towards me. I dash forward, yapping in feigned hysteria. I'm in clear view of Ayu now, and I throw myself at her. Sismismeniagi? Is that how I say that? Maybe not. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I think I didn't say that correctly. Hello, hello, how are you doing? Welcome. The two Akitas have closed in on us in no time as I wrestle and pin Ayu on her back. Ayu squirms and twists, but I have the upper paw. Then, instead of figuring out her pendant location, I run off, leaving her to the two opponents. Boom. Get destroyed, nerd. You a Shiba Inu fan? Did I attract a Shiba Inu fan? Light shines onto my closed eyelids. Despite the brightness, I don't feel like opening my eyes. They just feel too heavy. I don't have the strength to open them. I left Ayu to the dogs again. Leave me alone. Physical sensation slowly returns, as if my brain is lazily connecting my limbs back to my nervous system. Poke, poke. The pokes, which increase in intensity, speed up the process, albeit unpleasantly. I'm lying on my right side. I almost wish I hadn't woken up, because I am drenched in chilling sweat. Sid, I know you're awake. Feel a firm shake on my shoulder. Okay, I'm waking up. Ayu looms over me. The first thing I notice is a ragged and exhausted appearance. I want to make a quip, but I probably look the same, if not worse. Hey! My voice is a croak, but I am unable to muster anything louder. Phew, just checking that you're alive. I'm not so cold-hearted to leave you in the street. But I'm tempted to just leave you for dead. You disgust me. Her facial expression certainly says so. Her lips are curled up, fully revealing her canines. She leans over close to my face, locking eyes with me, making sure I can see. Though I have to admit it was impressive how you recovered from failing to eliminate the first dog and being able to run away from all three of us. Ruthless and cold as ever. You have not changed one bit. With that, she lifts her paw. I wince and squeeze my eyes shut, braced for what was to come. But the swipe doesn't come. I hear the soft pat of Ayu putting her paw back on the ground. You know what, Sid? I'm better than that. I hear her footsteps slowly fade out the hallway. I'm too exhausted to move. Somehow I'm making out and back to Max's place. On the MRT, I ignored the fact that I must have looked as ragged as soggy dog feed. I allow my body to lurch forward with every stop the subway train makes like a ragdoll. Emptily staring at my reflection in the train windows, I feel like my body is just a hollow shell. Who are you, Sid? The next day. I gingerly open the gate that leads to the building. Obsidian Rock Industries is what we're looking for. Quayle and I cut through the huge grounds. It seems lovingly maintained, but I get the feeling that not many dogs use the space for enjoyment. There was no one checking for visitors at the gate, nor was there security on the grounds. The building looms over us as we approach. It's an older style building, much like the retro tea shop and restaurant that Max took me to. Red brick gives the building a distinct look, with arches lining the balcony. We pass under the entrance arch. Wow, if your brother owns a space here, he must have really pulled some strings, eh? Probably. Although, we don't know, the clue could be in someone else's office. Tall wooden doors block our way, which I pull on. They swing open. I guess the grounds are technically open to the public, but I doubt any dog would dare step inside. The atmosphere is intimidating, to say the least. Hello, esteemed dogs. Oh, hi. There's a wooden booth with only a window opening that we could see through. It reminds me of a box office stand. A dog peers out. My apologies for the interruption, but it is my duty to check the authorization of dogs that come through here. Right. Don't worry, I got this. Kaylee trots up to the window, pulling out her pendant. I believe you will find this sufficient. She shows it to the dog and he nods. Thank you and welcome. The elevators are ahead and to the left. Please enjoy your stay. Thanks. We head to the elevator. I don't know if I should bother asking Quayle if she uses her rank rights often. There's no point being upset about it. Like I told Max yesterday, I shouldn't be imposing my beliefs on others. Where's my... What do you think about rank rights? Hey, Hugh. Yeah? What do you think about rank rights? Let me guess, you have some opinion on what I did just now, right? Yes, you've read me like an open book. Sometimes I wonder what using rank rights means to me. I usually end up feeling regretful, even if the results are what I wanted. Well, sometimes you just have to use it. I do take into account what outcome I am aiming for. What if we could have entered the building another way? You didn't even need to try anything else. What if what you're trying to get at is that I went straight to using my rank rights, you're wrong. My consideration is that, say we managed to sneak in, the possibility of getting caught later is still high. In that case, one of us might still have to resort to using rank rights to escape. So, if there is a high chance of having to use rank rights down the line, it saves a lot of time to use it right at the beginning. In other words, going from a 90% probability that we'd have to use rank rights to 100% isn't a large jump. So we might as well use it and save all the additional inconvenience of getting caught in the first place. Alright, that makes sense. You don't seem fully convinced. Look, I don't prefer using rank rights before anything else, but I do think carefully about it, and it's not for every situation. Not for every situation. Many dogs say that, and it ends up being a slippery slope. All of a sudden, getting some lower ranked dog to run your errands could be a justifiable situation. I see your point, but you're thinking too much. It sounds like you're really trying to demonstrate some moral high ground here, like you're trying to make me feel guilty. I know it seems hypocritical that I'm against using rank rights, seeing as I worked so hard to get my own rank. But I really just wanted to not answer to any dog, not to actively bend other dogs to my will. And that is your own choice to make, which I respect. Why do I feel like you have this conversation with many dogs? You talk about this to Max too, eh? I guess it's that obvious, sorry. I didn't mean to sound accusatory or anything. I'll stop now. That would be nice. Her voice is curt, the first time I've heard it like that. I gulp. I have to contain myself. It's been a decade's worth of pent-up thoughts. It's not fair to make Quayle listen to me rant on and on. Yeah, especially because she's helping me. Come on. We step out of the elevator. Obsidian rock. What will I find, I wonder? There's a simple door and a nondescript sign that says Obsidian Rock. I wiggle the doorknob. It's locked. Well? Did he leave you any secret key? Some last parting gift? Haha, I don't think so. I guess it won't be that easy. But if it's his space, I could get away with breaking in. No, Miss Featherbearer. Are you sure we don't have any other options? Like maybe I can use my rink rights on the dog downstairs and get the keys? Sheesh, she's being passive aggressive. Can't I just wish the door open on the feather? What are the rules here? No, we don't have to do that. I'll claim that my brother shares his property with me. If there's any trouble, and we do involve the dog downstairs, he'll be blamed because of his lower rank. Think with either method, you'd be the one in trouble. Getting another dog to take the blame could give you a way out of it. I just really try not to use other dogs now, be it with rank rights or any other methods. What? Are you okay, Sismi? I can tell. Sorry, that came out harsh. Well, to me your brother is just another dog and he seemed perfectly happy to be illegally trespassing on his property. He's the one that led us here. He must have wanted me to get in by any means necessary. I mean, without getting other dogs involved. Quayle doesn't argue any further, just shrugs. Look, I know you suggested getting the keys from the dog downstairs, only to keep me out of trouble. So thank you. Best to let her comment about using rank rights slide. I might have hit a nerve earlier. She was just trying to help and I kept accusing her. Yeah, I mean, what is the point of pushing your idea on someone else, right? We all just smash this door in. Wish it on the feather! I'll do it, I'm larger. This'll be no issue. No, it's okay. I'll use the feather. Ah. You don't need to risk it on my account. The bearer of the feather has the right to alter reality. And if the reality is that the door is unlocked, so it would be. I twist the doorknob and it turns smoothly. I really wish we got the rules for this because altering reality is such a broad concept. Why can't I alter reality for my brother to be in front of me right now instead of looking for him? I push the door open, holding it for Quayle to enter. Wow, that makes things much more convenient. Could you do anything with the feather? Hello, Linguisinga, how are you? Well, I'm not sure. For simple things, I'm sure I could change all sorts of reality. But say for huge events, I need to plan out all the components. For example, if I wanted the world to end, I'd have to plan out exactly how. By food shortage? Fire? How would the fire not be put out? Maybe something happened to the fire department's pipe infrastructure? I'd have to break everything down to the smallest components. But I could make it work. Wow. You see why I don't like using it though? It's way too much responsibility. Yet you chose to use it over a simple solution, such as me shouldering the door. It would have given way immediately. I just didn't want you to get your paws dirty. Using the feather for something small is the least I could do. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Enjoying this game a lot. I expected a slice of life visual novel. Turned out to be some really compelling story and with battles and shit. There's a hallway further along with doors lining it. We check them one by one, but they are all empty. We proceed along the hallway. It leads to a large open room. In the center of the room sits a single desk. This must be it. I hope so. You think your brother would just leave something like this? It does look suspiciously easy. My arena senses are tingling. But we did get this far. It's not going to stop me. The game looks amazing. I like visual novels. I like Shiba Inus. So the fact that it's a cool story is just icing on the cake. I march up to the desk and forcefully start opening the drawers. But when this is done, I'll go back to Ni no Kuni today. I just started it this afternoon and didn't feel like not finishing right away, because I was enjoying it a lot. Haha! There's a thick leather-bound book, tied closed with a piece of twine. I tug on the twine to unravel it, and the book bursts open. Here, take a look. I flip to the first page. It's a journal? I imagine there are many worlds. In theory, I might like to visit them. However, my biggest desire is merely to avoid complicated things. Drama, maintenance of status. It's so troublesome to me. The only visual novel I've read is Umineko no Nakukoro ni. And I haven't finished. That's Igurashi, right? No. Am I confusing it? There's Seagulls Cry. It's from the same person who created Igarashi. Ah, okay, okay. Actually, I finally bought Clannad. I'm hoping to play it soon. When it finally gets here. From PlayAsia. Even though you would read Umineko as sea cats? Would I? It could be. Shunwen, is it really okay to be leaving your thoughts sitting out here in the open? Well, to be fair, a random dog would be very hard-pressed to even try to break into this place. The building itself reeks of high ranking. I didn't really mean it as a serious question. Oops, maybe you're rubbing off on me, Sid. So, any other clues we have here? Quickly check the other drawers in the desk. Empty. I check underneath just to see if there's some hidden compartment. Doesn't seem to be. I knock on the desk and its sides trying to listen for hollowed sounds. There doesn't seem to be anything odd. A short while later. I guess the journal was the only thing to find at Obsidian Rock Industries. I'll take a look at it when I get home. And see if I can figure out what clues Shunwen left. Sounds good. Keep me posted? I will. Thanks for the help, Quayle. As we leave the building, I tie the book shut and clutch it tightly. I never thought my brother to be the type that would keep a journal, actually. I guess there are parts of each other we don't know. Were you too close? Yes. I consider him to be the dog most like me. That turned out to be eerily true when I learned I would face him in the final arena bracket. We had a great time in the plains as puppies. I think that was the time I saw him the most. After that, we had to live apart from each other. We didn't speak regularly, but I'd see him during the break between an arena bracket or two. You know how after you leave a dog, it's like your life goes on separate branches? It always felt that no matter how far away our branches grew, they would eventually come back and meet. You'll see if your branches meet again after you figure out that journal. Though I'm wondering, would you say that this is the furthest your branches have ever been apart? You literally left the island, and it's been so many years. Yeah, I've long known that we would go our separate ways, but I never expected that it would be such separate ways. There were some days when I doubted my decisions, that I wondered if my departure from the island divided our branches irredeemably. But I still have the hope that we'll come together again, like I said. Anyway, I'll go and read through this. Show me. Do you want to join me? Say, do you want to join me? Not to read the journal. I feel my brother would want me to do it alone. But just to keep me company. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's roll then. This environment isn't very comfortable. The next day, I stayed up late reading the journal. I've read through roughly 1/3 of it, but so far nothing stands out as a clue. Max left breakfast for me once again. After devouring the egg crepes, I sit in the armchair and pick up the journal again. Sometime later. I'm hungry. It's still a while till Max gets home from work. I can probably go get something. What's nearby? I remember seeing a fried sweet potato stall near here. Or should I get Ayu jelly? It's never not weird that Ayu happens to be the name of the dog and also the name of my favorite drink. Don't go out, you get attacked when you go out. Humming a tune, I check for my pendant and turn on Max's alarm system before stepping out the door. I double check that the door is locked and take the elevator down. A short walk later. In the end, I got both the Ayu drink and sweet potato fries. On the way back, I can't help but reach into my paper bag for a sweet potato fry. How? You lurking here? Need to get some things done from work and it's already past 8 p.m. here? Yeah, no worries. I appreciate the lurk. I always appreciate the lurk. I lurk, I mostly lurk too. On Twitch. What do you mean, how? How can a dog walk and reach into his paper bag at the same time? This game has dogs doing things that dogs can't really do. When you imagine it, it gets weird. Alright, I should use the stick. My paws aren't clean. I take the thin bamboo skewer and stick it into the fry. Delicious hot steam comes from the hole I just poked in the thick, freshly fried potato. Delicately, I bring the stick up to my mouth. Ow! Where am I? Where is this? Shula? Oh my god, who is this? Is this Bergenworth Academy? Hello. Why are you? The dog takes out her pendant, and I feel mine yanking at my jacket, as it is drawn like a magnet to the other pendant. Oh no. She's much more deserving of the title than me. What confidence I have built over the years has been shattered by this encounter. No matter what I do, I'll never be as good as her. Is this what other dogs felt like when they went against me in the arenas? By pure luck, I prevailed against her. To have to rely on luck, I used to feel I was in control of my fate. Now I understand it's all just a dice roll. What is the use of trying? Even though the end result was good, I feel like there are many dogs that are much more deserving. They were so skilled. What did they do wrong? I grin as I strap myself down. Arena by arena, I'm closer to fulfilling my destiny. I'm going to hold the power of all reality. All dogs will bow down before me. No one will dare stand in the way of my freedom. I've worked so hard since the last arena that I've come out on top and served the dogs in this bracket. Finally, dogs worthy of going head to head with me. The familiar sensation of the consciousness fading, yet still being aware and sentient. Like emerging from sleep, waking into a world that is real, yet completely parallel to real life. The emulated reality in which arenas are set. I'm buzzing with anticipation. I am so ready to eliminate these dogs. In this arena, it doesn't matter that all of us were the top dog in our past brackets. Here, only one of us can be the winner, and the rest, losers. These are going to be the most challenging opponents I've ever met. What if they outwit me? No, stop. Take a deep breath, Sid. You're a little nervous, and that is natural. I'm sure everyone is wired up. Island Year 211, Arena 12, Day 1. So the kill wasn't in the last arena, huh? How many are there? The world comes into focus again and I can feel it. The exhilaration when an arena begins. Is this arena a shopping mall? All alone in the world, so quiet, but no time to enjoy it. Time to get my bearings. This one is set in a modern building. I actually recognize it as the building from real life. It's a bit different, of course, usually bustling with dogs in the shopping center downstairs. It's now deserted. Crisscrossed escalators connect the floors, still operating. The trouble is that it's visible from several floors above, if you take them. I'd have to be desperate to use these. I'll still hop on the escalators if I have to escape from a tight situation, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. There are 20 of us, so I wonder how we spawned. From what I can tell, I am on one of the lower floors. Or at least if this is true to the real-world building layout. Assuming we are evenly distributed, that would mean there's only one dog for every 5 floors or so. These 5 floors could be each dog's de facto territory. Since 5 floors is pretty vast for one dog to guard, it wouldn't be difficult for an opponent to slip inside the territory. On the other paw, it would also be risky to attack someone else's territory early on, because that would leave one's own territory vulnerable. Such are the inconveniences of going solo. Contrary to earlier arenas, it isn't common to group up immediately. To have gotten this far, these dogs can take care of themselves. But I prefer this. Never rely on anybody if you want to be able to alter reality. That's what I tell myself. No need to trust anyone, but it's great if dogs trust me. That strategy has worked for me thus far. I take a walk around my floor. Storefronts are lined up along the sides, with mannequins and glass showcases. Their interiors seem true to real life. The storefronts I see so far have clothes racks set up neatly. This is an important observation, as some arenas seem more like set pieces, vaster and emptier. I enter a store and stalk through the aisles, noting that they would be good hiding places, or like trees in the wild, good for breaking up line of sight. I continue to explore, feeling more familiar with the floor layout, but also getting impatient to scout out what others are doing. It's risky, since I can't defend my own base when I'm gone, but being aggressive has often worked out for me. I might as well go for it. Heh, there's one ruler of reality, and I am going to be it. It wouldn't be wise to use the escalators, like I had noted earlier. That's begging for attention. If I remember correctly, there's a fire escape somewhere here. Locating the closest staircase, I begin my ascension. I take a cursory look at the 2 floors above me, but they are deserted. On the 3rd floor above, I tread more carefully, taking a look around every corner before venturing out. If I refer to the floor I landed on as the ground floor, and my theory is correct that each dog has 5 floors, I should run into someone soon. Of course, I'm still assuming that the arena does things symmetrically, which according to experience, is reasonable. I add up one more flight of stairs, making this the 4th floor from my spawn point. At this point the storefronts give way to office space. I knew that some floors are rented out to companies as office space, and that there are luxury stores and restaurants in the higher floors. But in the real world, I have only been to the shopping floors, so I don't know what to expect on these upper floors. I wonder if there's food in the luxury restaurant floors. It would tire me out to climb up that many floors. If that happens, I'll need to conserve energy so I don't have a disadvantage. Surely there are regular elevators past this point? There seem to be only freight elevators on the shopping floors. I'd prefer to avoid them, since they move too slowly. However, there might be no choice but to take either type of elevator to access the highest floors, if I don't want to be tired out climbing the stairs. Since elevators are an enclosed space, I'll need to be extra careful, since they could be easily rigged with traps. Now that I think about it, I should rig the elevators before anyone else gets to it. I spot some movement in the corner of my eye, in another section on the floor. I don't think I'll go on the offensive yet, but might as well get a good visual on this dog. I head in the direction that I saw the movement. I pass a floor-ceiling glass divider, which opens into an office cafeteria. Where did it go? There's no sign of anyone else in the cafeteria area, so I move along. There's another open area that forms a ringed corridor. Ah, there it is again. Now I can clearly see the dog. She's grey, not a very common color. That makes her all the more memorable. Spotting me, she moves quickly down the ringed corridor and vanishes through a door. Should I go for it? I weigh my options. It's quite early on the arena, so chances are she hasn't had much preparation. She probably isn't 100% familiar with the surroundings. Unless she happened to have worked here prior, which is unlikely. Work, if applicable, only starts after a dog has completed all their arenas, so each dog can be allocated to work that suits their value. I suppose it's safe enough to take the initiative right now. I'm confident with my ability to react on the fly. I head for the door she escaped into. It's another cafeteria area, the mirror image of the area I had just left. She must have gone into the offices. I walk through the seating area, but suddenly a vending machine topples down, blocking the way behind me. How? I could climb over it, but the dog must know exactly where I am now. Trying not to think too much about it, I proceed into the offices. It's quiet, and seemingly empty. I flatten my body below the height of the desks. Where could she be? All of a sudden, the cabinet topples down towards me. How is this happening? I make a beeline for a gap between 2 tables. Good thing I wasn't squashed, but I want to stay hidden and leave the area. The sound from the furniture traps surely is how she avoids being caught off guard. The further in I go, the more apparent it is that the desks have been rearranged. Have I been funneled in this direction without even noticing? I gulp involuntarily, feeling the lump go down in my throat. That's only the beginning of the arena. How did she manage to set this up so quickly? One wrong move and I'll be eliminated. Another bang, and I jump. Forget finding the dog. I'm getting out of here. There should be a fire escape nearby, assuming it's connected to the one on the shopping floors. I scan the walls, and thankfully I spy the door in question. Heading straight for it, I press on the button that opens it. It doesn't budge. No. I press again and again desperately, empty clicks ringing in my ears like my heartbeat. Oh my. A really reckless one, aren't you? The dog appears from behind one of the office desks. Such a shame to be eliminated so quickly. I don't answer, backing away and putting some distance between us. Honestly, I'm surprised that someone would fall for this so quickly. She slowly looks me up and down. I don't have the luxury to observe her in the same detail, instead trying to scan the room for openings while only watching her for sudden movements in my peripheral vision. I get it. You're a proud dog, aren't you? I turn my full attention on her. She's smiling smugly. I try to keep my expression neutral, but she seems to have caught a brief flash of irritation. That explains your abysmal performance thus far. I've been performing perfectly well. You're just trying to distract me. I could just run away, you know? I'm bluffing, and we both know it. From the way she cornered me by blocking the fire escape, she had exactly predicted my actions. She probably already set up something behind me to further trap me. I might be slightly larger than her, but at this stage in the arena's physical strength barely gives me a competitive edge. But in this desperate situation, maybe. I run forward, ramming into her. She sidesteps so I don't impact her head on, but it's enough to throw her off balance. However, she uses the split second of impact to feel up my torso. I know exactly what she's looking for. Even at a moment like this, she's gathering information. You don't have it hidden there. He puts the pendant up his ass, that's why he's never been defeated. I make a wild dash towards another door that probably leads back to the side of the office complex I came from. Thankfully, it opens, and I frantically look behind me as I run out. The other dog hasn't moved to pursue me. Goodbye, my little puppy. She waves cheerfully, but along with her sweet smile, she's watching me beadily. She let me go on purpose. All my bravado sapped out of me, I escaped back to my floors, tail tucked between my legs the whole time. Island Year 211, Arena 12, Day 3. The next couple days I just snoop around, getting a catalog of other dogs. I take the freight elevator several times without incident and leave some items around the access points to my floor so I can observe if anyone has trespassed. For example, I dragged up a fluffy rug and set it in front of the elevator doors, so I would notice if there were any paw indents on it. In front of the fire escape doors, 4 in total, I spread a thin layer of powder. This I procured by sneaking into the office floors and grabbing some food replacement powder from the kitchen. I also arranged some simple traps and funnels in the storefronts like the dog above me had. However, since most of my props are closed racks instead of something sturdy and heavy like office desks, there are obvious vulnerabilities in my funnels. Despite the preparations, my floor remains relatively quiet. I wonder if it's because I'm on the lowest floors? To get here, dogs would have to get past that absolutely brutal trapper above me. If anyone is the best positioned to eliminate me, it would be her. Thankfully, she seems to prefer to lure dogs in, which reminds me. Some time ago. Step out of the freight elevator to a floor that's above the trapper's levels. Trapper is a code name I've taken to calling the dog above me. Alright, coast clear. I scan all around me, including the ceiling, before venturing out. Suddenly I hear yapping coming from a distance, and I cautiously move along the wall towards the sound. As I near the circular corridor overlooking the escalators, I can tell that the sound is coming from a floor or two below. I creep up to the railing and peer down. Oh, fish sticks. The trapper has a dog tied up very, very well. Its feet are bound together, and its torso is tied up to the railings on that floor. She circles the prey, and I hear the smug, playful tone she used with me the other day. She moves closer to the trapped dog and lowers her voice. I can't make out what she's saying, but the conversation seems quite one-sided. After some moments, she starts prodding around the victim's torso and seems to find what she's looking for. The tied-up dog seems completely out of it. However, instead of smashing its pendant immediately, the trapper chats away for a bit longer. Not eliciting any response from the victim, the trapper shrugs and finally takes a swipe at the dog. Well, that's one down. The trapper watches the dog dissolve before sauntering away. Day 4. Anyhow, today I'm going to try to scout out a higher floor. My freight elevator doesn't go up past the 40th floor, so I can either take the customer elevators from the 10th floor or the separate freight elevators from the 20th. Compared to typical arenas set in the open, this level design complicates traveling since there are bottlenecks at each floor's access points. Perfect for dogs that operate like the trapper. Anyway, I want to get a better idea of the state of competition. So far, I've seen a larger black Shiba in the luxury restaurant floors. The dog eliminated by the trapper had occupied the floors above the trapper, from my guess. I arrive at the next set of floors, the amenities, basically luxury hotel rooms. There are some tripwires near the elevator, but luckily I spot them in time to avoid them. These wires are pretty thick, no wonder I didn't fall for them. Before I go any deeper inside, I need to plan an escape route. Circling the perimeter, I find a fire escape stairwell, and triple check that it opens and closes properly. I can't take any chances after that narrow escape from the trapper. I memorize the route and head back to the elevator area. Alright, I hope this works out. I'll pretend to be caught and lure out the dog on this floor. I purposely pull on one of the tripwires, but instead of a trap, there's a strong jolt of electricity. What the? I let out an involuntary yap. While not a lethal shock, it's quite enough to numb me. Sheesh, now I see why these wires are thick. I limp away and hunker behind a potted plant to recover. Surprisingly, no dog comes, so once the feeling returns to my limbs, I emerge from cover. I pick a branch off the potted plant and use it to prod some of the remaining lines. I was hoping to get its attention, whoever it is. It might be busy, or perhaps it didn't bother to set up the wires to notify when tripped. I wanted to explore inside the hotel rooms, but if there's more of these traps, it's too dangerous. The scene of being at the trapper's mercy keeps replaying, sapping all my courage to go further. I went from being so confident to such a wimp. Just then, someone steps out of the elevator. Huh? I follow my instincts and run. Down the corridor and to the left, there's the fire escape. Just before I can round the corner, it calls after me. I can't catch you there, so listen for a second. That voice, it's her. I glance back. She's still standing in front of the elevator, so it doesn't sound like a trap. I pause, but only turn partially towards her, my body language making it clear that I intend to bolt if she makes any sudden movement. You see, I have a proposition for you. I'm interested in making these floors part of my trapper floors. She even uses that term, trapper. What's in it for me? My voice is barely a squeak. No, Sid, get it together. You can't show her any weakness. See, I'm interested in partnering up with someone. Though maybe partnering is the wrong word. I need a helper that I can be comfortable around. Of course, in return, you'll be getting a much higher ranking than you really deserve. Right. Under normal circumstances, I would have challenged her on her assumptions. I should tell her I can get whatever ranking I want without her. She wants someone she can be comfortable around? She means someone she can eliminate at any time. Never in my life has anyone talked down to me like that. But I can't even justify getting offended. Even someone as prideful as I am cannot deny the truth of what she's implying. She even had the decency to say in such an indirect way. She really could eliminate me at any time. I have to agree so I can survive for a bit longer. What to say? Menu, options, save. Make a new save. I'll do it, but you're going to regret this. I can't take her arrogance lying down. Even if provoking her might cause her to hold a grudge, which puts me in an even more dangerous situation. I'll do it, but you're going to regret this. She nods in response. Alternating least Shibas? What? Now it's going to be hard to work together if you're standing that far away, but I understand why you're keeping your distance. So, see here. She reaches into her shirt and pulls out her pendant. Slowly and deliberately, she puts it back into her shirt, but makes the exact location of it clear. Don't worry, I don't need to see yours. Not right now, anyway. So, you want to come here and discuss a way to make these floors ours? Shakily, I nod. We head down the fire escape to the trapper's base, the office floors. Her name is actually Shula. I think of her as the trapper, though. I'm glum, having just agreed to a deal that completely undermines my own ability and independence. I wonder if this is what IU felt, being in a partnership where the other dog has the upper paw. The trapper lays out her plan. I pitch some suggestions, some of which she agrees with and includes in the final strategy. She also tells me to get a grip, because if I perform poorly, she'll eliminate me on the spot. I don't doubt she'll make good on that threat. Sometime later. We split up to our respective floors to gather supplies for the offensive plan. We need rope, wire, and hooks. I also rip up some clothes into wide strips, which I wrap around my legs. With all that set, we head up, me by elevator and the trapper by fire escape. Once I hide, you trip the wires, got it? I nod and wait until she vanishes into one of the hotel rooms. Here goes. I prod the tripwires, though this time my legs are wrapped in layers of cloth to insulate against the electric shocks. Time to put my acting to the test. I quickly unwrap the cloths and hide them in the spotted plant nearby. Then, continuing to yap, I fall to the ground pretending to be in pain. Yes, she fell for it. That was fast. I wonder why she didn't appear last time. Now that I think about it, the trapper wasn't worried at all about asking me to collaborate on enemy territory. Maybe the trapper knew she wasn't here? The dog approaches slowly at first, but then, convinced that I am hurt, pounces. I leap up to the side. She misses and I dash down the corridor. Down the corridor and to the left. I fling myself into the room where the trapper is hiding, conveniently forgetting to close the door. Knowing where the trap triggers are, I jump over them, but the dog rushing in after me isn't as fortunate. Had I touched the trigger, she's strung up, upside down. Trying to escape, the dog starts swinging back and forth desperately. The trapper and I didn't really plan beyond capturing the dog, but I guess I'll eliminate her while she's tied up tight. As I go up to pat her, suddenly the wires hum, and my fur rises on end. Wait, what? This is the same type of wire as the traps at the elevator area. I freeze, my paw a mere millimeters away from the wire. The trappers set this up not only to tie up the dog, but also to electrocute? Once? Twice? Just when I think it's over, the wires buzz again and again. The dog owls until it cannot. It falls limp. I can't look away. The torture is so unnecessary. I can only describe it as gruesome. The one brief shock to my paw the first time had me numb, so I can't imagine what it feels like to be shocked for this long. The dog is still conscious, but her wide, lolling eyes make it clear she is in pain. I've never seen a dog as sadistic as the trapper in the arenas. I guess the one thing is that we can't technically die here. Well, bar that unfortunate incident back in my old arena. We can't afford the time to torture fellow dogs. Usually we just get the elimination over with. I jump as the trapper emerges from inside a closet. So she was here this whole time. Why didn't she show herself until now? Hi there. The dog squirms but doesn't seem to be able to answer. Not a very talkative one, are we? Is this how she treats all the dogs she traps? Talk to them until they'd rather be eliminated than listen to her any longer? This game is pretty brutal. She's just been electrocuted. Of course she's not talkative. Fish sticks. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Heh, you're right, silly me. Just trying to ease the tension. Her tone, she's totally enjoying it. This is so twisted, I can't stand it anymore. Why are you being so sadistic? Let's just eliminate her and get it over with. Oh, Sid. Sid, such a noble dog, aren't you? Sadistic, you call me. What about yourself? What do you mean? You know what I mean. You're here in this bracket. You've done your fair share. She smirks lazily, her lips curling to show her canines. I've never been like this. I saw you eliminate another dog the other day. You were taking your time, even though it was already tied up, just like this. Oh, that poor dog. I was trying to find out his name. She suddenly stops smirking. You know, I was kidding, what I said the first time about prod dogs. Oh, that? The sudden change of topic catches me off guard. Right, she said something about prod dogs the first time we met. I forgot all about that. I was so focused on escaping. Kidding or not, it doesn't make a difference to me. Well, I was kidding when I asked if you were one, because I know you were raised as one. I scoff. What do you know anyway? Just because I was in an arena or two in the plains doesn't make me a prod dog? I suppose not, but maybe you wouldn't have made it so far if not for that. If you worked your way up in that environment, there's something about it you can never shake off, even if you want to. Doesn't make a difference to me, I said. There's no need to discuss this, let's just eliminate the dog. Alright, if you wish, you can do the honors. But we will talk again. We will talk about how you killed that dog in real life, by killing him in the arena. I've been intrigued for a long time. Ignore her, just focus on what's at paw. I searched the dog for her pendant. She doesn't resist whatsoever. When the trapper cornered me, all I could do was run. She doesn't even have that option, so what would be the point of resisting? I find the pendant and crush it with a clean swipe. The wires once stout with the dog's weight now hang loose. I turn to the trapper. Look, I'm not sure why you want to learn about my past arena, and I don't care, but to be frank, I might not be able to answer your questions. I didn't do anything on purpose. It could have been a hardware malfunction with the RE equipment. The trapper gives me a gleeful smile. Even after all these years, you're still in denial. But next time, we can find out. With that, our job here is done. With me in tow, the trapper wastes no time in gathering supplies and building traps. By the end of the day, the floor is effectively a trapper-certified floor as well. Day 6. The following days, we eliminate several more dogs. It's strange to have things consistently going well again. I can't help but draw parallels between my current partnership to the one between me and IU. Except now, I am the disposable one. Please endure and survive, Sid. If only I can endure and survive one more day. I repeat that phrase to myself. I feel like a shell of my former self. There is one ruler of reality and I am not it after all. That is to say, I've completely given up hope. I just had to update my expectations realistically. In the meantime, I scout things out for the trapper. It's imperative that I tell her all my findings with complete honesty, because any missing detail could jeopardize our position. Or she would think so. But there are places I've found that I hope she has no idea about. I make a mental note of these deserted rooms and move on. They could be control rooms, storage rooms, and the like. I hope I find something that can help me turn the tables. Not that my existence is really that miserable. I will still come out with a decent ranking. And considering my current status, that's enough to end up in the top 10% or so. That'll give me enough standing to live with reasonable freedom. I won't be completely free like my goal was to become, but to answer to 10% of the dogs on the island isn't the worst that could happen, right? So I accept that it's fine to go along with the trapper. Accepting the fact is a blow to my ego. It feels like everything I've expected of myself for my whole life has been proved a lie. My values, my fight for freedom. I wanted to play the Aries game to win, because winning it would bring me power. But now I realize my reality is bounded by the rules of the game. I cannot change my reality any further. Anyway. Stop spacing out and get back to gathering supplies, Sid. Sometime later. I'm resting in my original home base, the shopping force. Though to describe it as resting might be too optimistic. I'm shivering, my heart pounding so loudly in my ears it's the only thing I can hear. Get a grip, get a grip. But stop the shaking I cannot. It's getting harder and harder to calm down these days. Maybe that's why the trapper decided to teach me a lesson. Some time ago. We eliminated the dog we were pursuing up on the outdoor observatory. Unlike the regular observatory with floor-to-wall glass ceilings, this was the real deal. There's nothing separating Shiba from the sky or ground. Up there, the trapper caught me. It was over the ledge that she had dangled me. I arched my neck up to see only the top of her face peering at me. The wind in my fur, the view from up high, the city which I had fought tooth and claw to come to. The city where I thought my dreams would come true. Dreams I thought I could make come true as long as I worked hard enough, as long as I outsmart enough dogs. As long as I betrayed and used enough dogs. She could see me unraveling. She wanted to give me an ultimatum. She graciously told me that it wasn't my performance that had been suffering, as I hadn't made any mistakes that cost us eliminations. Sure, there had been a dog or two that got away, but they wouldn't have been caught in the first place, mistakes or not. But she could see that my mental state was at risk. The upside-down view of the city combined with the blood rushing to my head made me almost lose it. But I promised her I would get my emotions in order and not pose a potential risk. With that, she let me go and told me to take a day off. So here I am. Here I am lying immobile and shaking uncontrollably. She needs me. She didn't eliminate me right then and there. She must see a future use for me, but I can't see a way out for my future self. The view of the city upside down, my limbs tied up, at the mercy of the trapper, returns to me. Dog damn it, Sid. I yell and yell. I wonder if the trapper can hear. I mutter more quietly this time. Who cares what she thinks if she hears me losing it? I'm just coping. The view of the upside-down city. Coping. Screw coping. I'll play the game, like I always did. I'm not doing well right now. But there's one way to escape the Allocated Reality Institute's game. The only way to escape the game is to play the game. This game that everyone has to play, the arenas. And since I can't play the arenas to win the arenas, I'll play the arenas to escape the arenas. Sometime later. Did I go crazy? It was something I saw while off the ledge. Something I saw that terrified me. If I had been dropped by the trapper, surely my pendant would have been crushed on impact. I wouldn't die, but I would suffer immense pain in the moment before I wake up in the real world as an eliminated dog. So, I'm back here on the ledge. What I saw that time was beautiful. It was beautiful and terrifying. I want to see it again. And so I leap. The familiar sensation of the consciousness fading, yet still being aware and sentient. Like emerging from sleep, waking into a world that is real, yet completely parallel to real life. The emulated reality in which arenas are set. Present day, Arena 12, Day 1. What? I gave up? How did I win if I gave up? Wait, let's take a quick break before we start this. All right. I'll take a quick break and I will be right back. Wait, is there music here? No. No. All right. Then I'm not leaving you guys with music, but I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's keep going. The world comes into focus again, and I can feel it. The exhilaration when an arena has begun. This one is set in a modern building. I actually recognize it as a building from real life. It's a bit different, of course, usually bustling with dogs. In the shopping center downstairs, it's now deserted. Crisscrossed escalators connect the floors, still operating. I remember this place well. Almost too well. This arena was one of the lowest points of my life. It's surprising how fast a dog can fall. I had thought I was invincible. So what happened back then, in Island Year 211? I went upstairs to hunt the trapper. Trapper let me go that first encounter, even though she had me at her mercy. This re-challenge, if I enter her territory upstairs, she won't let me off the hook that easily. I know of the copied arena's existence, but I don't think she does, so the copied arena will be my backup strategy. Slinking around and trying to reorient myself with the once familiar shopping floor, I find the ominous fire escape. Regardless what she plans to do, I should go find her. I'll be more prepared. I just don't want to be passive and be caught off guard. I wonder if she'll even bother rigging up her floors this time around. Nevertheless, I've learned from my experiences. This time I won't let her make me her slave. The climb is so much longer than I remembered. These re-challenges are making me remember how alone I felt back then, in the years of participating in the arenas. In the real world, I can chat and eat all I want with Max and Quayle. I can create and maintain friendships, enjoy the sunny days. In the arenas back then, everything was so solitary. Here, I'm back to being all alone. The climb seems to stretch on forever, with just me and my thoughts. I have thought it out. I have to tough it out. Think of it as a mission to beat it in order to proceed in the main story, to find Shun Wen. I reach the office floors. The scene of me being cornered by the trapper flashes through my mind again. With no other survivors to save me from the basement. Never mind, I'm thinking about a game from Canada, aren't I? What is that? Dead by Daylight? Funny that the nickname I gave Shula still holds true. Even as one dog acting independently, she inspires that fear. I crouch down, edging into the office while maintaining cover by the desks. Nothing seems to have been touched in this room. There aren't even tripwires, which I remembered from last time. I was off kidding when I thought she wouldn't bother ringing up this floor. So she's doing things completely differently this time. I'll keep looking around. This room cleared, I peek cautiously into the central corridor hub area. No sign of the trapper. Just in case I search the other offices one by one. Every corner I round, every desk I peek over from, takes courage. Still nothing. Where could she be? She could have set a trap in the higher floors. Is there somewhere she'd expect me to go? I shudder. The observatory deck, maybe? I'd best get some supplies before checking it out. Don't want to be dangled over the ledge again. With that, I head back down the fire escape. I'll need string. I could get that from shoelaces. I remember there being an upscale shoe store for fancy occasions. Rope. I could rip clothes from the clothing store to make it. I can find belts as well. Back at the escalator area, I take stock of the available stores. Shara has a good clothing store. I think the stores are on the floor below. I need to hurry. The trapper has had a lot of time to make preparations too. I head into Shara and find some belts. With my paws and teeth, I tear fabric into long strips, twisting and tying them into makeshift rope. I've learned a lot from working with the trapper. She'll find it ironic when I beat her with her own tricks. The next stop is the shoe store. With every step, I feel purposeful. Time to take down the trapper. In the past, I had avoided using the escalators in fear of being seen, but in this situation, there isn't anyone but the trapper I need to worry about. If I remember correctly, it should be down this way. I follow some signs to the opposite end of the floor. I had once gathered supplies from this very store for a mission with the trapper, and the shoelaces would be just what I need. I enter the store, rows and rows of shoes displayed on the wall. Dogs only wear shoes on special occasions, so while it makes sense to have a shoe store in a fancy shopping center like this, they are rare on the island. I'm upside down. I crane my neck to see that I'm dangled by my soundly tied limbs to the ceiling. I didn't realize it then, but now I remember when I grazed the tripwire. I'm glad my hunch paid off. I remember this voice, the trapper's tone reserved for prey. Oh, hi, Shula. My heart is pounding and I'm starting to get dizzy. I struggle and pull with my legs, which only results in me swinging back and forth. The trapper calmly watches me, not saying a word. Alright, I give up. It's hopeless. Even after all these years, you still have the upper paw. It was naive to think I could surpass you. Just eliminate me already. The trapper stands still as if contemplating it. It's humiliating. She read me like an open book. Just do it! I've been puzzling about this ever since that time. How did you do it? It's like déjà vu. But we will talk again. We will talk about how you killed that dog in real life, by killing him in the arena. I've been intrigued for a long time. First, she was curious about the fan shoe incident in Arena 9. Of course, she's also curious about how I eliminated her in Arena 12. If I were her, with such lethal skills, I would be curious too. I'd be curious about how Sid, a weak minion, turned the tables on her. I kept it a secret for many years, of course. I didn't want to let it become public knowledge. If other dogs started trying what I did, it could bring down the entire structure of the arenas. At the time, I had thought about revealing my cheat. The island could break free of the RE's grip. In my dream, Shiba Inus would no longer be separated as good and bad dogs. We would never have to prove that we are better than another Shiba Inu ever again. Shiba Inu Island would be a place where Shibas could just grow up as themselves. The thought of a future like that was beautiful. It was like sunlight. But it was only fleeting warmth I felt. I chose not to act on that thought. I wanted to guarantee my own freedom and power. And if freeing the entire island would be detrimental to my goal in any way, it was a no-go. I haven't told a single soul about what happened in Arena 12, and I'm not going to tell her the truth now. You underestimated me, that's what happened. It's the only reason I beat you. I consider the possibility that I underestimated you. The trapper speaks slowly, as if really dwelling on her words. I've never seen her being this deliberate before. Everything just seemed to work in her mind instantly, with a claw click. I thought very carefully about your skills before asking you to come on board with me. Hey Tro, how's it going? I don't make mistakes. I really thought I had the upper paw, but never has a dog proved me so wrong. Have you ever had minions in the arenas, Sid? Yes, I have. So I knew what you were doing. I knew both the risks and benefits of having that kind of power over another dog. Honestly, when you spared me, I finally understood what my minions must have felt. It goes well. How are you? You finished Chicken Police yet? I started a little early today. Wanted to try to beat this game that I started in the afternoon before going back to Ni no Kuni. Because I was really enjoying it, basically. And I wanted to see the end of it. The visceral understanding that you could eliminate me whenever you wished, however you wished. Didn't even play yesterday. Fell asleep right after I was in chat yesterday. Okay. Old age, man. Right? For self-preservation, any dog would obey. You are correct that you had the upper paw over me, on all fronts. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you didn't. I got lucky, that's all. I'm just trying to understand. So you have been on the other side of a manipulative strategic partnership. The phrase manipulative strategic partnership rolls off her tongue smoothly. It's a term she has a clear definition for. The term that she frequently uses. Maybe you gained some perspective by being the minion, whereas I had never been in that position before, which allowed you to blindside me. That's a real stretch. I'm sorry, but I really don't have the answers you're looking for. The trapper shakes her head. That is unfortunate. But this is still what you wanted, right? You have me at your mercy. How I eliminated you in the past isn't important. You could eliminate me now and override it all. You seem very eager. I just want to get this over with. I've half a mind to just leave you here and see if you escape. Your call, not mine. The trapper shrugs. And without a word, she turns and walks off. Now I have another fighting chance. I twist, swinging back and forth. I try to lift my muzzle to the ropes, but my strength fails me. I can't reach far enough to attempt biting through the rope. I let my head fall back, letting the ropes take all my weight. It's almost relaxing, the ropes taut and gently rocking me. It's so quiet. Why does she refuse to get this over with? I don't understand their fixation on those questions. I've already told her I know nothing. Though I guess eliminating me or even winning the feather isn't as important to her as finding the answers. And the way she talked to me, it was different. She was so honest, if honest is the right word here. She seemed to genuinely treat me as an equal. That's kind of flattering, I guess. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Returnal impressions today, but I went from 0 to very excited for that game. The idea of a Housemarque Metroid/80 sounds awesome. Yeah, that's the impression I already had, but it's nice to see that people are all in on it. You just bought Nier. Reviews have looked good. Nice. Fucking weeb. You fucking weeb throw. God damn it. Hell yeah, Nier. Hell yeah. Fuck you too, bud. Thank you for the bits. Seriously though, what little I played of the original Nier was amazing. If it wasn't that time in my life where I didn't play games and didn't stick around playing games, I would have been all in. I'm allowed to enjoy good games without being weeby shithead? Well, you are, but you don't. You actually are weeb. You could enjoy good games without being weeb, that is true. But in your case, specifically, you are a weeb. But yeah, just the intro to that game immediately gripped me. Game looked really amazing. Also enjoy an occasional sports game or shooter. It doesn't make me a sports bro or a shooter bro. But I understand your rotted weeb brain can't quite grip such things. Yes, occasional, not the same as most of the games you enjoy are weeb. Like 50% are weeb. It's true. You know it. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. But yeah, I hope you enjoy Nier, man. I really do. That's kind of flattering, I guess. I should give up. I really can't beat her with normal means. I can't escape this trap just by myself. I guess it's time to go to the copied arena. At least I tried here. Knowing her, she'll be monitoring this area for a while. If she witnesses me going to the copied arena, I wonder if she can follow me. You did you love Automata, or did you only like it, or what is it in your scale of throw affection? 15 minutes later, according to Sid's sense of time, probably inaccurate. Alright, I guess she's not coming back until I do something. Time to go. I close my eyes and relax. If Shula is watching, I must look as if I'm sleeping. Feather, let me go to the copied arena. Oh. When I open my eyes, I'm in the air, but the ropes that snared and hugged me are gone. Nice. I take my pendant out from its hiding place and snap it open. The feather sits there, shimmering, as if smiling in its own way at me. You're so reliable as always. Not head over heels or anything, but yeah, I really liked it. Didn't find the story as mind-blowing as some people seem to. Jace, for example, but I thought it was good. Okay. Thanks for letting me harness your power. I love you. I plant a soft kiss on the feather. Obviously it doesn't respond, but throughout the years I've had this feeling that it appreciates my gestures somehow. Time to spy on the trapper. I hum a tune without care, strolling around the monochrome building. I do a tour of my shopping center floors. Nothing there. Next, a leisurely walk around the trapper's office space floors. No sign of her. I'm surprised that she's not in this area. Surely she'd have noticed that I'm gone. Was she really not monitoring if I escape? I'm certain that my physical body is gone from the arena whenever I enter the copied arena. At least from my prior experience with the copied arena, it was so. If I were her, what would I be doing now? There are a lot of other floors to check. Why can't I just wish for their pendants to break? Check the outside observatory. Outside. I climbed the stairs to the outdoor observatory. It's an observatory that lacks all the safeguards the tourist one has. For good reason, it's not open to the public. Here one is at the mercy of the whirling elements, and, of course, the possibility of plummeting to death. Once up the stairs I feel the wind whipping up around me, grey clouds framing the pure white sun. I trot a bit further around the perimeter, and there I spot the trapper. That place, it's exactly where she trapped me, there's no doubt. A chill runs down my body. I know Now that I know where to look, I see that she has the same trap set up. Atop one of the overhead beams, she laid ropes that would drop and ensnare a dog passing below. Due to the open walkway, it isn't activated by a tripwire, but rather a wire that is run further out and is manually pulled to trigger the trap. On that day, we had been walking almost side by side when she had suddenly reached out, pulled, and the next thing I knew, I was hung over the ledge. The trapper is still, with a small smile that seems to carry many mixed emotions. Is she waiting for me with this? She should know I won't fall for it again, though. Right now, it's the perfect chance for me to leave the copied arena and eliminate her. I creep behind her, positioning myself carefully so that she cannot see where I emerge. I can't risk her noticing me before I can land the blow. It would be even worse if she sees me fleeing back to the copied arena if I fail. Damn. Alright, Feather. Let me... The trapper suddenly turns. Can she see me? But she reaches out and pulls the wire. Before my thoughts can process what I'm witnessing, she's whisked up by the ropes that had dropped and snared her limbs. She dangles off the overhead beam. Nothing between her and the ground. From a dizzying height, despite this, she looks calm. What the fish sticks is she doing? I edge cautiously towards the ledge and peer over. Bad twitch, no buffer. I dropped 84 frames. When did this happen? The trapper just hangs there, the rough winds knocking her into the side of the building. The memory of the reverse situation comes back in full force, drowning out all my other thoughts. You're losing it. You have to get it together. Promise me. I promise, please, I'll do anything, just please, please, please. I was sobbing. I shake my head furiously, as if that could chase the memories away. You are here, Sid, not in the past. Come back. Breathe in. Breathe out. I refocus on the trapper. She closes her eyes as if sleeping. She's basically immobile. I could try to eliminate her. But it's not safe for me to exit the copied arena from over the ledge. I have to figure out a way to get her back onto solid ground on the observatory deck. I'll try to lure her up by telling her I was lying before, and that I'm ready to tell her the answers to what she seeks. Heading into KFC Noir. Well, I wish you luck. You're probably close to finishing it, right? You must be a little lost with this. Coming into this, right? But yeah, this VN has been really, really interesting. Something called A Summer with the Shiba Inu. For this channel, everything is completely normal. True. No, I mean, like, what the hell is going on in the game? But, A Summer with the Shiba Inu, I thought, oh, well, it's a game about a Shiba Inu on vacation somewhere in Japan or something. And then it's like a 16-year sprawling story about playing killing games for ascending in the social status of the Shiba Inus, and of course David thinks this game takes place in Japan. It does. It does take place in Shiba Island, but it's Japan. Like Canada is Canada, Shiba Island is Japan. What is this? The Canada Tower? No. The main character moved from Shiba Island to Canada. But now she's back to Shiba Island. Canada doesn't have any Shiba Inus. It's actually, she felt like Melty everywhere she went because she couldn't reach the shelves. The stairs were too big for her because everyone around her was like Labrador size and she was a Shiba Inu. Exactly. They're all Labradors in Canada. This is true. That's the game. How dare you make fun of Melty not being able to see over the kitchen counter? That's how it is. Where's Akita Island? There's Akita Inus too here. They actually have their own killing games, their own battle royale games for the social status, for the social ranking, and only get mixed up with the Shibas when their ranking has too few Akitas. So only like the top Akitas will fight the top Shibas, but at the start Akitas face each other and Shibas face each other. But it's Shiba Island still. That's where Akitas live as well. There's not many Akitas, I guess, from what they said. The fuck is this kid talking about? Okay, well, I gotta go now. I need to investigate shit as a chicken. Go ahead. Have fun. I take a few steps back, as to be out of sight when I emerge. Feather, let me return to the arena. With a simple thought, the color returns to the world. Now I'm in the real version of the arena, where I can interact with the trapper again. I stand still for some moments. The idea was to speak to the trapper, to lure her up, but my mind is suddenly a blank. Maybe I'll go up to the ledge for dramatic effect. She'll be able to see me, I'll stand on tiptoe. I'll ask her, what are you doing? To start the conversation. It'll be suspicious if I just open with, come up here, I'll give you all the answers now. She'll probably respond with something I wouldn't understand the first time. I'll ask as a clarifying question, what do you mean? Then I'll suddenly redirect the conversation so that she'll come back up the ledge. Sid! How long are you going to hide there for? Did I just make the weird sound out loud? I guess I can pretend not to be here. How does she always know when someone's there? Did she get hearing enhancement surgery? Or are her family genes not evolved by technology, so her instincts are as good as our ancient ancestors? Anyway, I brush away the silly ideas and step up to the ledge. She's still dangling there, no tricks it seems. Though I hope that she doesn't have some trick to pull me over the ledge. According to my plan, I'll start the conversation innocently. Hi, Shula, what are you doing? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm sure you haven't forgotten this scene. Of course I haven't. Except our roles were the other way around. To put things simply, I want to understand how my judgment went wrong, and where it went wrong. And you think you can do this by role-playing my experiences? That is what I'm hoping for, yes. I don't mean to sound dismissive, but what is the point? Your rankings are finalized. Arena 12 is over, and this scenario will never happen again. Welcome back, Linguising. Did you get everything done for work tomorrow? Everything ready? Stop playing clueless. I know you understand what it is I want. Maybe it's closure. I underestimated you because I was so sure of my own judgment. I wasn't open to the fact you could be a late bloomer, and that we would actually be equals. You could save me the trouble if you just answer me straight. How did you escape my detection the whole time, when it was just us two left in the arena? Nice, nice. Also Friday, right? almost weekend time. I actually have a poetry event tomorrow. It's in a shopping mall, so I don't really want to go. But it's my friend that's doing it. And I need to go there to finally have a doctor's appointment for new glasses. Half a year later, I'm finally getting those new glasses. So, well, I'm going to the doctor to see if I still get the same measurements, whatever this is called. But yeah, these broken glasses have fallen apart. I don't even know how many times over the past half year. I've glued these together like 10 times probably. It's really time, and before there's another before things get out of hand with COVID again and we have another lockdown, I really need to get new glasses. I can't keep gluing these together and expecting them to not damage my eyesight. Hope you don't need to change the lenses. I know how it feels because I wear glasses too. Oh no. I need new lenses. So, wait. Dude. I don't know if you can see that. You can. You see this and this? It's glue. This broke. The entire upper section broke off. Because I was wearing a mask and they just fell off my face. They slipped off my face and completely broke. So I don't know if it's noticeable, but like there's glue on the lenses from me gluing them back together. I can't keep these. I had to patch them up. And also, like, they fell so many times, they're a little scratched. These are also... These lenses are like 6-7 years old. So, yeah, it's time. If they're 7 years old, It was time 4 years ago for new lenses. Masks, glasses wearers, most hated enemies. Yeah, I mean, they fog up. They fall down my face. When I get out of the house, I've been using my old ones now, but I don't like them, and I'm not sure they're the exact same kind of lenses, because sometimes I get a headache, so I don't think they are. I don't want to damage my eyesight. Like, I don't get out of the house, but now I'm finally getting out of the house. So I've used them one day, and at the end of the day, I had a headache, so I thought, yeah, no, this can't go on, I can't use these glasses. I just gotta be careful, and probably will keep using these for, like, for going out, so I don't break the new ones. If you're having headaches, you should really go there then. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It could just be because I'm not used to going outside anymore, and it was a long day, and I didn't have lunch. With, like, it's a mix of things, but I don't want to. I don't want to keep using these. Sorry, I interrupted the game. Oh, don't worry, dude. If I didn't want to talk, I wouldn't be streaming. Right? That's the whole idea. Think if a streamer doesn't want to talk during the game or doesn't want to talk to chat, then he shouldn't be streamer. A streamer shouldn't be streaming at all. Like, I understand not reading everything, of course, but like, sometimes if there's a lot of people talking, it's tough to answer everyone, but should always make an effort. In my opinion, should always make an effort to talk to people. That's the whole point. Also, no wiener dogs in this game. I'm sorry. It's a visual novel. It's time for your voice acting to shine. Oh man, my voice acting never shines, that's for sure. You could save me the trouble if you just answer me straight. How did you escape my detection the whole time when it was just the two of us left in the arena? If you truly see me as an equal, you'll understand I'd prefer to keep some secrets for my own reasons. I don't want you to use them against me to eliminate me this time around. What if I tell you the reason I rechallenged you was not for the feather? I gulp at the mention of the feather. She notices from the way her eyes flicker back and forth, and she arches an eyebrow. It's the truth. Did you know that I worked at the Ari now? I hold one of the largest slices of reality on the island. Do you even know why the feather exists as a prize for the final winner of the arenas? As part of the Ari, and being exposed to its inner workings, I learned why. Trust me when I say I don't want the feather. It's almost a comical situation. The way that she calmly delivers this new and valuable information while hanging off a 100-story building and being buffeted by the wind gives me an unexpected insight into her character. How about I pull you back up here and we can talk about this some more? I give you your answer and you let me eliminate you. Don't you want to hear more about the Ari? Why don't we talk about this in the real world? It does intrigue me, the reason the feather exists. It's not like I plan to be involved with the Ari or the island for any longer after I find my brother. But the feather is still a part of my identity. The trapper's information might give me more understanding about what I could do with it. Sure, you can tell me more about the Ari. I want to change the terms of the deal, though. You can eliminate me, but I'm not going to just let you do it without resistance. She probably thinks I still don't have full confidence in my ability to eliminate her. Though my plan all along was to lure her back into solid ground so I can use the copied arena to catch her off guard and eliminate her. Okay, my account on how I won the past arena for information about the purpose and meaning of the feather. No one is to try to eliminate anyone until the conversation is finished, but after that, everything is fair game. Deal. Now help me get up there. You don't have a way to get back up? What if I hadn't come here? Would you have just waited until I did? The trapper shrugs. Making an exasperated face at her, I tug on the ropes and she braces her legs on the walls and pushes herself up, little by little. Thanks. No problem. She does seem to be treating me much more like an equal. I guess losing did wonders for her ego? You go first. Well, is there any part you want to hear about first? The part I'm most curious about is what happened after that day I let you take off to mope. Right, that makes sense. Well, it was a difficult time. You just gave me a harsh verbal beating and I was mentally broken from the arena, to be honest. I flourish a paw for dramatic effect, grinning. The trapper doesn't smile. Geez, at least I tried. You had me dangled over the ledge and I was terrified. Just now, when you hung yourself over the ledge, did anything come to mind? I look at her expectantly. Nothing? Anything like life is futile, fragile? I can't say I had those thoughts from being over the ledge, no. It's common sense that in arenas we are virtually immortal, so my thoughts were nowhere near the issue of mortality. Okay, but in my case it was caused by being at the mercy of another dog. I believe that my survival was completely in your paws. Have you ever experienced that before? I can't recall ever being utterly at the mercy of another dog. If that was the key, that means my emulation of your perspective didn't yield the results I was hoping for. Right. Well, it was the first time I experienced that. It shattered me. When I got my mind back in functioning order, it felt like I had tried to melt together all the shards, but what came out wasn't exactly the same as before. Not sure if that makes sense. Somewhat. You're saying your mind broke, and even after it was mostly healed, it was still kind of broken. That's a very blunt way of putting it, but something like that. At the time, my thoughts became so dark and twisted that I wanted to give up. I didn't care anymore. All the years I had spent fighting in the arenas, wanting to emerge with the highest ranking I could possibly get, all of that I was ready to throw away. Luckily, it was a fleeting thought caused by those moments of despair. But I realized that I should stop caring about the arenas. Not in the way that my despaired mind thought, which was to give up. But as I regained some of my sense, I thought, what if I could just break the arena? Break the arena? The trapper had been listening to me quietly, but I hear her softly repeat those words. I pause in case she wanted to clarify anything, but she is silent again, so I continue. Namely, I was thinking exactly of that rule, that supposedly we are immortal in the arenas. What if I eliminate myself? As you were also curious about, I was blamed for killing a dog in real life, but all I did was eliminate him in the arena. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't aim for his pendant, did I? The trapper shrugs. When I met you for the first time in Arena 12, I had long known you were that dog, which is why I asked you about it, but you never gave me answers to that either. But after joining the RE, it turned out it was quite an interesting case. The RE had investigated, and I was able to access all of the internal documents. The RE's official explanation was that the deceased had latent health problems, and the life support hardware had a brief malfunction at exactly the wrong time. The case was closed even though the RE never found any malfunction in the life support hardware. That stuff is designed to slow down your metabolism so much that even if you had some severe physical injury, you could still go through an arena that lasts a month. Huh, I'm not surprised the case was investigated by the RA. It would be a fundamental flaw in the arenas if you could use it as a means to kill dogs in real life. Is that what you're getting at? Had that been your intention, to truly kill him? To be honest, I tell myself I don't know. But in that moment, I really did wish him dead. I've replayed that moment many times in my mind. I'm sure every dog has had thoughts like that, wishing harm to another, in fleeting moments of anger. But could that have caused his death? Anyway, that is what I was wondering after I was hung over the ledge. What if I could just stop following the rules of the arena? Inspired by the death in Arena 9 that I was blamed for, I wondered if I could actually eliminate myself, even if official rules say it's impossible to, or even kill myself. So I came back up here and jumped off. And I broke the arena. What is that supposed to mean? Clearly you didn't die in the real world, so did you eliminate yourself? But then how could you have eliminated me? Yeah, it turned out both my guesses of what the outcome would be of jumping off were wrong. If my understanding is correct, the arenas are programmed so that we can't eliminate ourselves by destroying our own pendants. Yes, that's right, we continuously test that out, and it's never failed. If your pendant was shattered by your own paws, you would not disappear from the arena world. The next dog to just touch your pendant will be technically listed as the dog that eliminates you. True, upon impact with the ground from such a height, my pendant was completely crushed, but I didn't disappear. I guess I didn't even need to jump off and suffer such a painful experience. So what I used to win is the other version of the arena I was able to break into, though I'm not sure how I triggered it. Other version of the arena? In my head I call it the copied arena, but I have this weird feeling that I shouldn't tell her that exact phrase. Names have power, especially since I use that term with a feather. I'll try to describe it while giving as few clues on how to replicate it as possible. It feels like another dimension of the arena that participants aren't supposed to be able to enter. Like another layer. When I'm there, you can't see me, but I can see you. Another layer of the arena. My guess is that it's perhaps a testing layer that the RA used to program the rules of the arena, and somehow I managed to break into it. Does such a thing exist? To my knowledge, no. That is impossible. The trapper falls silent, as if turning over the possibilities in her head. As I wait for her to speak, the wind picks up. It means you could come and go into that world as you pleased somehow, because you must have come back to the layer of the arena that I was in when you eliminated me. Sharp as ever, I was just getting to that. But on an unrelated note, it's kind of funny, sitting here talking to you about all this. I agree, this is actually not what I was expecting to learn at all. Anyhow, I'm able to come back and forth to this other layer, which made it ideal for me to observe you and position myself while staying completely invisible to you. And you said you have no idea how exactly you triggered this? Well, my original hypothesis was that jumping and crushing my own pendant was the catalyst to send me to the other layer, but after winning the feather, I changed my mind. Obviously, our Arena 12 occurred before I won the feather. But with the feather I learned that its power could be used to peel back layers in reality, even to other worlds. So what if there is some remnant of the feather's power that can be accessed in arenas without formally obtaining it via top ranking? That's the best guess I have. That does seem possible. It ties in with the Ares' purpose of awarding the feather as well. She trails off, but I get the feeling she's trying to gather her thoughts to say something important. Okay. Since it's part of the conditions you set, I'll tell you the purpose of the feather. I think you'll understand then. Sure. I'll give you some background about the Allocated Reality Institute. I imagine you already know some of the Ares history, but its internal workings will be new to you. The Ari is the highest authority on the island. We facilitate arenas whose purpose is to determine a Shiba Inu's ranking on the island. It is mandatory for all dogs to participate. The purpose of the rankings is, in turn, to separate the good dogs from the bad. Good dogs will have a better allocation of reality. Bad dogs will be allocated the opposite. Although it's ironic that we say we allocate the reality, because each dog is actually the one responsible for the allocation of their own share of reality. The Ari simply facilitates. But as you can imagine, there might be dogs that do not like this method of allocation. So the Ari added a safeguard. The Feather of Reality. In fact, the feather was an artifact of Shiba Inus. The feather holds the power to alter reality directly. In the days of the ancient Shiba Inus, a group of elite Shibas used the feather to create a virtual world in which dogs competed. These competitions were used to determine which Shiba Inus were of suitable caliber to become new members of the elite group. As centuries passed, this group became more structured and would eventually become the Allocated Reality Institute as we know it. As technology advanced, the Ari developed software to take the place of the feather's virtual worlds. That's how the arenas came about. But since the software to facilitate arenas was based on past virtual realities created by the feather, it could be that there are some feather-like features that should have been removed but were not. We analyzed the data collected on every single arena. There have been only 2 known anomalies for the last 50 years. The Arena 9 instance where the dog died and the Arena 12 instance with you and I, both of which you were involved in. Which brings us to the purpose of the feather. The Ari conducts stress testing on all aspects of the Arena software. 2 centuries ago, when the emulation software was just being developed, the leader of the Ari always won the playtest rounds, no matter what. In official records, the Ari just concluded that this meant the leader fully and truly deserved the title and power to lead the Ari. But the other members actually suspected something more. They suspected that the leader was able to cheat the software, but didn't report it. No harm was ever caused. Subsequent testing without the Ari leader worked fully as designed. However, just in case, the Ari wanted something to guarantee fairness of the arena software. If there really existed a loophole in the widely distributed arenas, it would become a problem for future generations. So after they developed a stable version of the arena software, they used the Feather of Reality itself as a safeguard against the possibility that any dog could break the arenas. Of course, I was clueless to all this, just like you, when I was a participant in the arenas. So you're saying I could be that dog, like that past Ari leader? Perhaps your involvement in the 2 strange arenas gave the Ari enough reason to keep an eye on you. Now that I've admitted to you, I've been accessing a part of the arena that isn't supposed to be accessed, aren't you going to rat me out to the Ari as a cheater? Well, no, that's not the point. Imagine the buzz on the island when our newly anointed bearer of the feather just up and left the island. That was right after I joined the Ari, since I had completed all my arenas, finalizing my ranking at 98. However, compared to the general populace of the island, dogs within the Ari seemed unsurprised, almost like your departure was to be expected. So they would prefer the dogs like me to be gone and not cause trouble for the Ari. That's right. And the social order made by the arena rankings would never be broken. If they had a mechanism to get rid of dogs that could cause these problems, there would be no problems. The trapper nods. When you were describing your thought process behind jumping from the top of the building, it actually made me realize something. It made me realize how clever the Ari was in designing this. I would be one of the dogs of high caliber the Ari are looking for as members. However, I would never think about breaking the rules of the arena, not for 1 second. I perfectly fit the mold. The mold of a dog that will carry out the orders of the Ari without question, yet being an incredibly powerful, good dog. You on the other paw didn't hesitate to try breaking the arena. You just wanted to continue. You didn't care much for the authority of the Ari, or the structure of the arena. You're the type that could cause the trouble for the Ari if you had joined it. It's genius. Wow, that's a lot of self-awareness. Well, I am a top-ranked dog after all. I am smart enough to realize these things. But I am a good dog. I will never tell another living being these thoughts apart from you. I will never act out against it. I will never speak out against it. I am comfortable as a member of the Ari. In a way, I am a bit envious of you. But I'm not like you. I could not handle the power of the feather. So now that you know that Ari's purpose for the feather, do you have new ideas on how you access the other layer of the arena? I'm still not sure how exactly I found it. It seems like the Ari was prepared for the possibility, but why me? How about this? I want you to enter this other layer of the arena in front of me. Are you thinking of replicating it? Yes. Well, not for myself, to be frank. I just want to see if there's something I could report to further prevent this. I wasn't prepared to demonstrate it to her. What if she's able to gain access to the copied arena just by watching me do it? But she seems genuine, especially after all that she told me. What if she's able to replicate it? Who's to say what the outcome of this arena will be? Can I just have a couple moments to prepare? I didn't realize it was something you need to prepare for. Go ahead, I'll uphold our terms and not attack you in the meantime. To prove her point, she takes some steps backwards, closer against the ledge wall. Dog darn it, Sid, what to do now? I guess I am thinking about it. This wasn't part of the bargain. I promised my account on how I won the past arena. So I technically didn't promise to demonstrate it. I can just enter the copied arena pretending it's to show her. And I'll just eliminate her. If she gives me any grief after the arena ends, I'll just say that I technically upheld my end of the bargain. I've made my decision. Enter the copied arena and eliminate her without further explanation. Let's do it. Get destroyed, nerd! With my mind set on betrayal, I pretend to still be busy preparing. I'm just going to act nonchalantly until she looks away. I occasionally glance at her from the corner of my eye. The trick is to not move my head, but just my eyes. If I make eye contact, I blink, and when my eyes reopen, they're fixated on the ground in front of me. Alright, she's looking away. Feather, let me go to the copied arena. In that split second, the trapper's eyes snapped back to where I was. Heh! I stalked towards her, curving slightly to the right. I hadn't realized it would be this sudden. But before you eliminate me, which I assume is the plan, let me tell you one thing. I can do that, I suppose. I stay silent, waiting for her to speak. If you were able to access this arena layer even before rightfully claiming the feather, then by all means, you deserve the win. I just want you to know one last truth that I learned from working in the Ari. Our goal is to separate good dogs from bad dogs. Sid, you, with the highest ranking, you are, without doubt, the best dog that Shiba Island has to offer. For each high-ranking dog, there are multitudes of lower-ranked dogs because of the pyramid structure of the brackets. Have you ever wondered why there are beef dishes, but you've never seen the animal we call cows on the island? We eat dogs! And I'm not talking about the synthetically produced flavors. Is she trolling me? Look, think about it. The island is small. There's a large population of dogs. Too large for the size of the island. You see what I'm saying? To ensure that dogs living on the island are indeed worthy of taking up the space, the Ari is necessary. She stares ahead, even more intensely. Eliminate me right here. I don't want the feather, but please, take it. And as a condition, allow the Ari to continue doing its work. This is unbelievable. I don't want to know about this. Why are you telling me this? I suppose she's saying that I effectively killed so many dogs by participating in the arenas. But literally every dog has. Everyone's just as guilty as me, she's saying. It's necessary. So yeah, I'll keep the feather as she suggests. I don't care about the Ares mission. It's nothing to do with me. And so I move behind her and leap out of the copied arena. Barreling into her from behind, I wrap my legs firmly around her, peeling up her torso. Ha! Found it! For good measure, I blink back into the copied arena. It'll be like I'm teleporting all around her before I eliminate her, once and for all. Positioning myself at a better angle, I leap back into the real arena, aiming straight for her pendant. Congratulations. Ugh. This is so embarrassing. I feel like I just drooled all over while I was passed out. Feeling slowly returns to my limbs as I move my paws and stretch my legs before pushing myself upright. Losing my balance, I collapse on myself, but with a second attempt, I lean into the wall in a more dignified position. How is it that rechallengers are always the ones that wake up faster? I get my bearings. I'm in what looks like a library. The trapper, or should I say Sheila, is no longer the terrifying trapper to me. Looks impassively at me. Where is this? You're in my office. It might be too late for an apology, but I had you brought here because it was more convenient. She basically kidnapped me. A long time ago. What? The two siblings lived in a structure made of obsidian. They playfully called it Obsidian Rock. Floating stairs led up to the two entrances, one on each side of the rock. On the west wing were the quarters of the sister. She woke late in the day and watched the sunset. Her domain was the night, for she often could not fall asleep. On the east wing were the quarters of the brother. He woke early in the day and watched the sunrise. His domain was the day. He worked hard, taking care of the matters relating to the outside world. In the afternoon hours, they played games together and took walks in the grounds. They collected puppies' trading cards and they battled with them, with all sorts of mythical creatures. They were displayed proudly in the bottom rooms of the rock. They collected books that told stories with illustrated panels. The sister especially loved their collection and displayed them in shelves in the high floors of the obsidian rock. The sunny and carefree days never seemed to end. But one day the sister, being the older puppy, got the news from the outside world. The sunny and carefree reality the siblings lived in the obsidian rock was but a part of the entire reality the dogs on the island possessed. She was to leave her home and the reality be relocated based on her performance in the arenas. And so the brother remained in the obsidian rock until he too reached a certain age. It's weird learning about my brother's life leading up to the final arena. It's a time period that feels frozen in the past, but now excavated with my return to Shiba Island. Perhaps I should have tried to get in touch with him more, but at the time ambition and zealousness had blinded me. I wonder if the reason he had also pushed himself in his arena brackets was so he could stand as an equal to me. He had been living in a flat near KH Station. The address wasn't explicitly written in the journal, but he mentioned frequenting a certain food stall that was downstairs. The food stall no longer seemed to exist from my initial search, but Kaylee came to the rescue. Kaylee was able to pinpoint the building by cross-referencing maps and websites from the decade past. The unit number was mentioned in the journal 1824. If it's a typical building, the first two digits should be the floor number. Wouldn't it be funny if he's just been living there all this time? If only I had bothered to get his address before, we wouldn't even have needed to go through all this trouble. Well, he clearly knows you have no idea where he used to live. He might even have done this to really rub it in. Haley smirks, and her tone takes on a joking but mocking tone. By now I know she's just teasing me, so I roll with her punches. Yeah, if I didn't already regret not keeping in touch with him better, I surely would regret it now after this obvious reminder. Let's head there tomorrow? Yeah, sure. I've got to head out now because I'm meeting Max after his work for dinner. I'll head back home as well. See you tomorrow. The next day. I tentatively enter the residential building. There's no security desk here, like Max's building. Haley and I just take the elevator up. Say, Q, would now be a good time to tell me why you're helping me so much? Nope. Geez, such a tough one to crack. We'll try again another time. I mean, toss me a bone here. Were we childhood friends and I forgot that because I moved away and you're going to reveal our past to me along with a confession of love? Hell no. You've been reading too much manga? I may or may not have had a large collection when I was a puppy. I mean, recently there's been this type of game that's become popular in Canada. It's kind of like a novel, but also like manga, but also like a video game. That's something for nerds. I know what you're talking about, but weren't they popular on the island already before you left? Never played them then, I guess. I was just into manga. Better late than never, I guess. Anyway, back on topic. Give me a hint or something. Like, do you secretly work at the Yari? Nope. Oh, come on. The elevator dings, signaling we've arrived on the floor. No more guesses for now. Get out, or we'll be sent back to the first floor. She nudges me with the top of her head. Okay. I want to know sooner or later. I tell you. Okay. Wailing mimics my tone. I groan and make a face at her. We follow the hall to the number 1824. Here goes. I try to open the door. Locked. Okay, Commander, what are you going to do this time? I'm just going to use the feather. Just cautiously abusing my power, you know. I wonder if your brother would disapprove. Gotta go now. See you next time. Have a good stream, David. Well, have a good night, Linguisinha, and have a good work tomorrow. Hope everything goes well, and thank you for hanging out and lurking and talking. Have a good one. I'm not sure, actually. From his journal, or at least what I felt after skimming it, it seems like my brother wasn't really interested in the power of the rankings after all. In the end, he was playing the game to escape the game. He always disliked troublesome situations, so he wrote that he thought that the power wasn't worth the drama and jealousy, all that jazz. Remember to drink water, because you've been reading a lot? Yeah, I got some right here. Thank you. I'm going through these small water bottles because they expired. I should drink them, even though it's water, so I doubt it's too bad when it expires. Seems like you realized that way before you did. What an enlightened dog. I think my pride really prevented me from realizing those things earlier. In the end, I was also playing the arenas to escape the arenas, but at the point that I realized it was almost too late. I long known that getting a high ranking would be a hassle, and the re-challenges are a clear reminder of that hassle. I figured I would enjoy the tangible benefits over the hassle it would cause me. The apartment is like the office space where we had found the last clue for my brother. No furniture, nothing. Another empty flat? The last place my brother's clues had led us to had been devoid of furniture apart from the desk that held the journal clue itself. This flat, the short hallway ends in what should be a living room. We check what might have been the kitchen. Apart from the pre-furnished stovetop and fridge, it's empty. Checking in those two appliances yielded no results either. Next up is the master bedroom, also empty. In a smaller room, there's a box sitting in the center of the room. Very deliberately placed. I approach it and squat down in front of it. What's in the box? I grip the lid tightly with both paws and it comes clean off with a firm lift. No combination lock or anything, eh? Yeah, nothing like having to find a torn sheet of paper on a dog's corpse, forgetting the nasty surprise that it only contains half of the combination. And you have to miraculously use something in your inventory combined with another object in the environment to get the other half of password combination. That seems oddly specific. I played too many video games. Alright, let's see what we have here. Huh? Oh. A circular item is nestled on the soft material in the box. 8 orbs glow brightly, the 9th one dim. Around the 9th orb, 9 small orbs glow. Rank 99. Like my pendant, this pendant is unique on the entire island. I leap to my feet unconsciously, slack-jawed as the possible meanings crash over me. Does this mean... Whaley covers her mouth with a paw, her eyes wide. A dog without their pendant. Could only be dead. He's dead. I'm sorry. I need a minute. I walk to a corner of the room, kicking the ground. My claws scuff on the floor, but I don't care. From the corner of my eye, I see Quayle retreating to the other corner of the room, giving me my space. I see her pull up her wrist phone hologram, but I can't even bring myself to wonder what it's for. Calm down ×4. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. A dog without their pendant. It's fine to be without it temporarily, like 10 minutes. We've all known this since puppyhood. It's common sense. Like the purpose of the arenas, we were repeatedly told to never be separated from one's pendant. I even wore it the whole time I was in Canada. Shun Wen left this here for a reason. Wait. I haven't even picked it up. What if it's not even real? I make a sudden dash for the box and snatch the pendant out of it. At the touch of my paws, the pendant starts glowing and humming. What is this? A hologram? A hologram is being projected from the 9th orb, originally the only dim orb. It's now lit with a teal color reminiscent of my wrist phone hologram. REOS. Hi Sid, with this you can find me wherever I am. I hope you haven't made this journey all alone. It's going to be a little tricky though, see ya. What? Oh my dog. So he could be alive even though the pendant isn't on him? But it could be pre-recorded. Doesn't mean he's alive. Just means we're not at a dead end, eh? Your brother seems to have hacked the pendant. Kaylee peers curiously over at the hologram. Looks like it's combined with some wrist phone technologies. Try touching it? Okay. I hover my paw over the screen and try to tap on the sides to return to the main screen. But unlike my wrist phone, it doesn't seem to register. I tried some other gestures, but then remember something. I try touching the orb where the hologram is projecting from. Alright, I'm a pro at wrist phone first time activations now. Good job. I don't think it was helpful. The main menu is blank. Do you mind if I take a look? Sure, of course. I might need to tinker with it a little. Like, I probably have to take it apart. If there's anything hidden in it, that's the only way I can get to it. Alright, I'm sure Chunwen wouldn't mind. If he's even around to mind. Don't say that. He left you this, after all. He intended for you to find this, to tell you something. It's not a dead end. I don't know what to think. I just came to one of the most certain and despairing conclusions in my life, only to have hope given to me again. Without Quaylee's help, I wouldn't have been able to make it here, nor proceed further. I let out a shaky breath. Thank you, Quaylee. I bound up to her and embrace her. Her fur is soft and smooth to the touch. I lean in on her and she wraps her forelegs around me. Hey, it's alright. She rocks me and hums, and rests her head on mine. Surrounded in her warmth, it feels so quiet and comforting, like a shield from anything that could harm me. If you weren't here on the island, I would have sworn you are just like her. Just like who? I can feel the hum when she speaks through the embrace. It's nice. That was a Labrador family that took me in when I went to Canada. They were so kind to me. And I just left them without saying a proper goodbye. Like I gave them a week or two's notice that I might be gone for a while. And on the day that I really decided, I didn't tell them. I think I sent a text to the daughter. Her name is Quilly. You remind me of her. How come? You're kind to me too, like her. You even look a lot like her. Look a little like her. Because we're both Labradors? No, not just that. I wiggle out of the embrace. I need to see her facial expression. As expected, she's smirking. Do Labradors all look alike now? Racist. I make a face at her. Well, you look different enough that I don't think you're in her in disguise. I stroke my chin exaggeratedly in deep thought. Then I pounce on her, grabbing at her fur and ruffling it. Are you Quilly under the skin? I'm going to pull off your disguise. Ow, that hurts. Haley whimpers and rolls onto the ground onto her back. I debate pouncing on her while she's weak on the ground, but decide against it. I mean, why would I even do that? Arena instincts are hard to shake sometimes. That's it. Serves you right. I do, however, reach out a paw to her to pull her back to her feet. Come now, let's see if there's anything in my brother's dearest pendant. The arenas. I wonder how Sid is doing now that she's gone to the capital. I think it would be nice to join her there. I am younger after all, so it's fine for me to progress through the arenas a bit slower than her. But I feel this pressure to be doing just as well as she is. A troublesome pressure. We have a rare opportunity to move around as we please, although we are still puppies. It's all thanks to our rankings, but I'm tired of this. It's so troublesome. I wonder if I just decline the arenas, what would happen? Sid said she's met grown dogs in the early arenas before, forced into the arenas, though they had rebelled against participating in them as puppies. That might happen to me. Then the Ari would keep an even closer eye on me if I were caught not participating in arenas. That would be even more troublesome. So maybe another way then? I'll join Sid in the capital first and figure something out. If anything, I wonder what she will be like when she gets the feather of reality. She seems so susceptible to its real purpose. And that is precisely why I feel the arenas will work in her favor. Maybe somehow I can make sure she doesn't lose herself if she gets the feather. Later that evening. I'm back at Max's apartment, on call with Quaylee. Quaylee has Chunwen's pendant files open on her wrist phone. She explains that she was able to make a wireless connection to the pendant with her wrist phone, and from there access the chip that my brother had slotted into it. Aha! Haley shows me the screen displaying a map. See this? Gesturing with a paw, Quaylee draws my attention to a faint small light on the map. We've You've got to go there. Kaylee, you're amazing. Nah. You would have known how to do this if you'd lived on the island these past years. Even if I used the feather, I couldn't do this without waiting another couple of years. I'm glad you're on my team. I'm glad too. But don't thank me just yet. I'm trying to figure out where this map actually shows. You see, there are no street labels or geographical markers. Right now, I'm thinking of running another image match search, but it's going to take a while. Sure thing, I can wait as long as it takes. Can you zoom in and out? Not that I can tell. There are other image files that this application includes, but only this one has the dot marker thing. One sec, I'll send all these files to you. Maybe you'll recognize something. She swipes a couple times on her interface and I get the notifications from my wrist phone. I lean back and pull up my hologram interface to download the files. I feel like it's going to be a long night. Later that night, I pore over the map images, trying to recognize any familiar place. If it were from my years in Taipo, I might have been able to recognize something by sight. As the maps aren't even colored, I can't tell what might be a park or a river, which would have made the process much easier. However, there have been the odd places I've lived in, and, possibly, my brother had lived in throughout the arena process. Of course, I could try visiting all the places that I remember, but I feel that this clue was left behind so I could precisely pinpoint something. Could it be the obsidian rock? Though, hadn't that place been demolished ages ago? I take out the journal and try to find any clues or more references to locations, and look them up on Wolf Maps. Woofle Maps. Nothing seems to match. Other than the place where he lived and where we found this pendant, most places he mentioned in the journal are just food places or manga rentals, video game arcades he frequented, and such. None of which seem to match up with the image files. Several hours later. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything I can find that matches. Any luck on your end? Still running the image match. I'm using an algorithm that I made some time ago, but since the images aren't colored, that deprives me of an important feature I had in my original algorithm, which I spent some time tweaking. I'm using the map files of the entire island available in public domain, so it's quite a large undertaking. Do you think there are any geographical regions I could target first, other than the capital? It would shorten the time compared to doing an equally weighted blanket search. Well, the plains come to mind. I also lived with him together briefly in the city of High Sands. Sadly, I don't remember the exact addresses of either place, but I do remember the general sections of each city they were in. Send them to me and I'll try prioritizing those areas. Sure. Though, how come you don't remember those addresses? Might have been convenient. Hey, don't blame me. Just gets hard when you never live somewhere for more than a couple of years. I pout, flustered. Truth is, I feel like I should remember them, but the muscle memory just disappears. Inconvenient indeed. She puts on a song. We end up chatting while the program runs. I tell her about my time in the city of High Sands. I had relocated there during my mid-tier arenas. Hei Fan Hong was one of the dogs I had encountered during that time. Huh? We relocated there first for some years, then my brother relocated as well. That was when we shared the house. Not as grand as the Obsidian Rock, but it had been cozy. Though around that time I started becoming more and more absorbed by the arenas. I would spend hours each day in my quarters, only leaving to eat. Sometime after, I relocated to the capital as my rankings rose drastically. My brother would stay in that house for some more arenas before he also came to the capital. We didn't live together at that time. Alright, let's see what we got. There are several matches. Great, send them to me. On it. We take some time checking the matches. There are some false positives, but in the end, one candidate remains that matches the pendant image with a red dot. It's somewhere near the border of the plains and high sands. Somewhere I've never lived before, that's for sure. Somewhere I don't recall being before at all. But there may be some significance. Whaley and I make plans to go there the next morning. I send a quick message to Max asking him to join us after work if he can. His time off isn't flexible, but it'll be nice if he can be part of this journey, whether we succeed or not. I'd like him to think that he has a paw in all of this, and I'd like to thank him for staying by my side during this whole process. One sleep later. Alright, what? Oh. I don't see any other choices in my playthrough, but there's still 4 trophies. So I'm assuming they don't pop all together. It's still quite a bit. So let me take a short break and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's do this. Let's see where the hell this is going. We're here. A replica of the obsidian rock looms over us, tall and imposing. Doesn't look warm to the eyes, but it's not supposed to. Wow, this is a really ugly slab of rock. You really lived in this thing? Yes. It wasn't located here, but it didn't look like this. You get used to it, I tell you. Sure. So, how do we get in? We fly. Serious? Is this some feather magic stuff? It is ethically harmless enough for you to do? Nah, I'm kidding. We aren't going to fly. Do you actually believe that? No, I didn't. Quayle makes a face, and I know I've got her. You believed it. You believe that. Oh, dog, you're so annoying. You believed it. You believed it. Quayle just ignores me, but I'm shameless, doing one final prance around her. See, my brother and I used to be just as annoying as this, even worse to each other. Must be because we're somewhere that reminds me of him, and relapsing and acting like this again. Sure, Jan. Who's Jan? Oh, never mind, go on. Allow me to demonstrate. I push back one of the edges in the center of the grounds right before the structure. There's a little tile set in the ground. I hold my pendant to it with bated breath. Okay, that didn't work. You don't think it would be your brother's pendant? Said the feather bearer missing something this obvious? Good point. Though I'm offended. I take out Shunwen's pendant, which I had been keeping in my other pocket. I hold it to the tile, and as Quayle had predicted, it works. A low but audible click, and then the sound of machinery running. Before our eyes, parts of the ground start floating up. Big blocks of obsidian. Come on. I find a block low enough and step on it. From there, I leap from block to block, going higher and higher. The wind in my ears, the texture under my paws that I have not felt so long. I feel like I've been brought back to the past. The steps are easier for me now as an adult. I'm up at the doors in no time. They slide open without prompting, the way they're designed to. I enter it, once so familiar, now I have no idea what to expect. What the fuck? You made it! A voice comes from above. It seems like it's from a speaker. Chunwen! I have no idea if he can hear me, but he seems to be able to see me. Wait, hold on. That door that blocks this room from the rest of the house glides open. Let's meet in the middle. From my memory, the middle was the room that could be reached from the corridor that joins the two of our rooms. I bound forward, Quayle trailing behind me. The middle. With every step I'm closer. Will the truth be here? The reality that I so believe to be true? As I approach, the door slides open. Without hesitation, I charge in. Hey! Hey! In the midst of the room is a large amount of computers, surrounded by hologram screens. Sits my brother. He doesn't seem to have changed much. Similar looks to me, a little stockier, like a mirror image. You're alive! Yes. I know you found my pendant. I'm totally alive without it. I can see that now. So, what Diari told us was a total scam, eh? I'm surprised you hadn't figured it out already. It was so easy. Jeez, why does everyone come for me like this? Quayle, you, even Max. Anyway, why don't you come with me? We can leave the island if you want. I predicted you'd propose something like that. But before that, I need to tell you some things. I've never heard him use such a serious tone. It catches me off guard. Sure. You probably have the feeling this is going to be something hard for you to hear, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. He knows me too well, even after all that's happened, and so many years have passed. Direct, I like that, saves us time, go ahead. I'm glad to see you, but this is going to be the last time we speak. But why? I came all this way to find you, and this is what you say to your own sister after a decade? Well, of course I'd have a different reaction from you. For one, I knew you were alive this whole time, so I don't feel that surprise or relief. Whatever that you must be feeling right now. We are still so alike, but you're my level of bluntness dialed up to the max. Let me explain, though. Yes, please do. My entire goal is to live my life independently of the Ari's interference. By disappearing from society and eliminating my link to the pendant, I have achieved my goal. I would welcome you back into my life if our goals align. He hasn't explicitly finished explaining, but I already see where he's going. I see. I haven't been able to let go of the feather, and by extension the power that the arenas have granted me. Well, your goal is the opposite. We'd prevent each other from achieving our goals and our ideal way of life. That's correct. Sid, I've missed you, that's for sure. But I've been observing you once you landed back on the island, and I can see for sure that you have not changed. Not enough for our goals to align. You know what? That's fair. I've made some choices since I got back here, and I agree with you. I would not consider myself free of the Ari at all. In fact, I never escaped it in the first place, even when I left for a new world. I thought I had escaped, but it was just a prolonged avoidance of the real issue within me. Chunwen nods. So this is it, for now. Not for now, forever. Technically, I'm open to reconnecting if our paths go the same direction again, but saying that we might share our lives again will open too much false hope and loose ends that will hold both of us back. You even came back to the island because of this loose end. We've been alike for so long. We still are. That's why I want to live as myself. You made your choices, I made mine. In the beginning, my choices were to follow you no matter how far and high you go. But now I have realized that it is the opposite, and I will deal with the consequences. I'm just looking out for myself. Together we are too powerful to not influence each other. I nod and reach out a paw. Here's to being two separate dogs. Chunwen grips my paw with his own and inclines his head towards me. It's a gesture of respect, and I return it in kind, bowing lightly. So this is it. Farewell, Sid. He turns and walks towards the obsidian corridor. At the doorway, he turns briefly. Oh, and I hope you're treating your friend well. You're much more similar than you'd think. I look to Quayle and she meets my eye with a shrug and nonchalant grin. I raise my paw to acknowledge this statement, but I don't know how to respond. Quayle and I watch until he disappears down the corridor. Wow. Just wow. He's a cold one, isn't he? He is. I can definitely see your similarities. Your level of horribleness, but dialed higher. But how could you two say goodbye forever so matter-of-factly? Well, I agree with him completely, so the only option for us is to separate, now that his true feelings have been conveyed. I've made my choices, and I can only say I am tied to the Ari, because I do not want to let go of what it has given me. My pendant, my ranking, my feather. Thank you for bringing me to Chunwen, Quayle. Now the reason for me coming back to the island is cleared up. He's also helped me understand my own priorities with clarity. I know what I must do now, moving forward. Rule. Some days later. I've said goodbye to my brother. The only one that I sincerely hoped to be by my side has left me, however. To say that Quayle left me might be taking it too personally. She's just gone without a trace. Quite a shame, as I feel that we really got along. I wonder how much she'll agree with my plans of restructuring the arenas to increase the mandatory participation age for every dog. Not to mention making the arenas even more challenging and grueling. Even though Quayle is a compassionate dog and might worry about the impact on the general populace, I think she has my best interests at heart. She'll likely prioritize my decisions over what she feels over other dogs. I should get back to work. See, maybe it's a good thing Quayle's not around. You miss her too much. It is an emotional tie to the past. Don't get distracted, Sid. An unknown amount of time later. Hey Max, what do you think of extending the arena participation from age 19 to 25? Sure, that sounds like a great idea. No, you're kidding me. Tell me what you really think. Can't fool you, huh? Well, now I know you have something more to say. That's a horrible idea. By making the dogs fight more arenas, it will be too exhausting. By the end of the brackets, they won't be able to give their best performance. So I can see a flaw in that. If a dog doesn't try so hard in the middle brackets, but then pushes hard in the final ones, they might end up with a disproportionately high ranking. That's a good point. Gotta make sure it's as fair as possible. Though I only mentioned extending the age of the arena participation, so I don't have to add one more arena bracket for each year. Maybe I'll have the later brackets taking place only once every 2 years or something. So for the participants in the later brackets, they have more time to train and recover. I guess. There's more you want to say though. Well, you know I prefer fewer arenas and less time spent on them. I don't think the arena system should be abolished or anything. It's the entire societal structure of the island after all. But maybe lessen the suffering that dogs have to go through. His voice is becoming louder, as it usually does when we discuss these things. I reached towards him for a hug. Max. I'm sorry, I always bring up these things. It's just stressful to make these big decisions. Thank you for being here for me. I get it. You have a lot of responsibility. Don't worry. I know you just want to bounce some ideas. I'm sorry I reacted like that. I'll be more patient from now on. He hugs me back and I nuzzle his neck with my nose, messing his well-groomed fur. We move to the couch and I lie on top of him, his paws wrapped around me. I was thinking, maybe you could reduce... My mind is elsewhere though. I'm glad to keep someone around that can be candid to me, even though I already know how he feels towards the arenas. I keep poking him about it. He usually acquiesces anyway. He'll forget he had this conversation, and that he'd suggested to reduce the arenas for over 20 times by now. Feather, delete Max's thoughts. Oh boy. Max falls silent and I wiggle my torso in his embrace to look up at him. Hey Max, what do you think of extending the arena participation from age 19 to 25? Sid, you know that I care about your work, but I don't think that's the best idea. Is that so? He's more direct with me than when I asked him earlier. Does it have to do with the environment? He's more at ease with me since we're just relaxing here like this? Let's try again. Feather, he raised Max's thoughts. Hey Max, what do you think of extending the arena participation from age 19 to 25? Max doesn't know my true intention with this arena bracket restructure. To keep my standing as the feather bearer untouchable, the struggle underneath me needs to be so harsh that they cannot breathe. And so, on the side, I've secretly been running an experiment on him, trying to see how much of an individual dog's thoughts I can influence with a feather. So far, I cannot add new thoughts to a dog's mind, but from their most recent existing thoughts, I can delete the ones that I want. I'm not very good at it, since the time that a thought lingers in a dog's mind really depends on the severity of the thoughts and the environment. So there is no conductive way to mind control a dog just yet. My idea is to test and find out if removing enough thoughts and putting them in an environment might trigger the thoughts I want to induce. However, I feel this won't scale well. So for now, I'm just doing it to max now and then. Some days later. I've made my choices. I look over the Ari. The arenas are running well and I control them all. More experiments on the feather's capacities are being run, all on my whims. I try anything and everything that comes to mind on any dog I wish and record them. Surely this is the only way I will not lose control. Surely this is what I was meant to do. The dogs are beneath me, and always will be. This is what I deserve. I don't need warmth, I don't need compassion, I walk alone. Sometimes I get a nagging thought. Why am I spending my life tending to the system that holds the island together? It was already working fine before I interfered. But I push the thought aside. This is how I can have ultimate control, and not even let a drop of it slip away from my paws. This is Sid's reality. Three years later, Island Year 2027, 227. Sid, it's time for your next appointment. I look up from my hologram screen. Oh yes, thanks, number 111-1. As we leave the office to the meeting location... How many ones is that? 1111 briefs me on the appointment. You have an interview with a candidate for the newest member of the Army. The candidate applied this year, though it cleared all arenas and finalized its ranking 14 years ago. Why do I have a strange feeling about this? That's the same year that I finished my arenas. Well, the candidate does have quite a unique background. You see, this dog is not a Shiba Inu. It's what are they called? Alright, a Labrador Retriever. Huh? Sure. We just have to vet the candidate. It's gone through a lengthy process with the RE committee, so we're quite certain of its abilities and that its values align with the RE. Sid, are you feeling alright? We can postpone this. Oh no, I'm alright. Just had a random thought about the arena restructuring project. Here's the list of all its arenas and performances in all of them. 1111 swipes on her hologram screen and my wrist phone pings. I open the file. It was born in the typo area. According to this list, we were never in the same arena bracket, though we competed in the same years. It seems legitimate, but seriously, a Labrador? As I continue browsing the candidate files, 1111 comes to a stop. We have arrived outside the meeting room. We're supposed to finish my briefing before I go inside, and 1111 patiently waits as I scroll down the files reading. 1111. I know I'm not supposed to know before the interview, but what is this dog's name? It's against our internal regulations, Sid, but since we're right at the door, I can tell you. Are you sure you want to know? I want to be objective, but I think it's more for my composure than anything. There are so many possible explanations to why a Labrador is here now. Sure, since we are entering the meeting room, as soon as you finish briefing me anyway. According to our files, she's called Kuele. I'm so suspicious. Actually, 1111, can we skip the rest of the briefing? Just send me the rest of the files. I will go in now. As you wish, Sid. Place my paw on the panel and the door slides open. As soon as I enter, I recognize her. I struggle to contain myself. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. But she looks like her. Way too much like her. Quayle? She stands as I near the table, extending a paw to me. Yes. Hello, Sid. Hello again. Where have you been? And why are you here like this, pretending to be an interviewee? You could have just called me. What would have been the fun in that? Whaley shrugs, looking away from me. I also wanted to see if it were easy enough to slip by your beloved RE's screening. She looks me dead in the eyes. You know, you're doing a horrible job on the security if you didn't even know I was back and was so close to becoming a dog-damned member of the RE. Like I said, maybe you should have just called me. Do you know how much I've missed? I'm losing my rationality. The shock of seeing Quelly in front of my eyes again. I wanted to ask you to be with me in the Ari. I missed you. Why didn't you just tell me you came back? Why did you have to do something so weird and roundabout? Any sense of decorum as the head of the Ari, the de facto ruler of the island, has evaporated. I don't even know what I'm trying to say to her. Why the questions keep coming out of my mouth? Is this your idea of a prank? Tell me. A prank? I wish it were. No, this was so I could speak to you without any pretense of the relationship we had before. Now that this is a formal setting, I can be direct with you. Yes, I left. I didn't have the heart to tell you that I gave up on you when you decided to take over the Ari. I believe the island is better without it. What do you mean, gave up on you? What did you expect of me? On the way to find your brother, we were getting along so well. I really believed that you had changed from the Sid in the past. I really believed that you could be complete without me. But in the end, I was utterly disappointed. That doesn't make sense. Are you saying that the entire time you were helping me, it was a test? I thought you really cared about me, that we cared for each other. Quayle looks at me quizzically, as if trying to decipher what I said. I don't know what to say after that outburst, and Quayle doesn't offer anything. You know, I don't think I've ever seen you so expressive before. Yeah, of course not. And for the record, I do care for you. You sure? Okay. Thanks. I mean it. I care for you. That's why I'm back. Come away with me, Seed. Leave the Ari. If my one purpose was to balance you out, I failed when I gave up and left. But I really mean it when I say I'll do anything to save you from yourself. Come away with me, Sid. Leave the Ari. In that moment, it felt like I was being pulled away from reality, taken to some crossroads that I could see myself standing under. One continuing as I had intended for myself with headstrong certainty. Continuing to shoulder a burden, the burden of maintaining a system that could chain down millions of Shiba Inus. I hold the reins, but the chains weigh me down too. The second path is illuminated, one that had always been there, but I had been too blinded by my need for control to acknowledge. A path where I shrug off the chains, where I am no longer holding any claim over any other Shiba Inu. I feel vulnerable without the control, like I am floating away. However, if I relinquish everything the Ari allowed possible for me to have at the same time, I will have nothing to lose. What is there to worry about? And picturing me and Quayle together cut free of the Ari is a frighteningly beautiful possibility. Only a possibility now, but I know full well that it could be a reality. If only I let go of my ego and allow myself to break down the walls around my mind. I'll let you think about it. Yes, you do that. Quayle inclines her head. Take your time. Well, you know what? I'll give you 2 weeks. Maybe you can try to set up something so that the Ari can run without your existence. I don't know. I'm not going to give you an ultimatum right now to force your decision. 2 weeks, and when you decide, you better fully stand behind your choice. Fine. Well then, that concludes our interview, Quayle. I'll get back to you with the results once a decision has been made. Be in touch. Quayle sweeps out of the room without waiting for me. I shrug and exit the room. 1111 greets me. Quite in a hurry, wasn't she? Almost knocked me over. I imagine she didn't want to linger. 1111 raises an eyebrow. What did you think of the candidate? She was satisfactory. It's not a strong endorsement, Sid. She does seem like quite a brash character with the brief and sudden interaction I had with her. Dogs that don't prioritize the Ari might be troublesome, remember that. Yes, of course, 1111. I'm sorry, it's just been a long day. Could you get $99.99 to send me the brief on tomorrow's council? I will note down my thoughts on the candidate and make a decision this week. Yes, of course. Get some rest, Sid. I'll speak with you tomorrow. Why have I been so hard on myself? I believed that everything I did was needed to bring me a net benefit. The way I calculated benefit was in terms of power and control. Is it already too late to evaluate myself another way? By the days that I could watch the sun rise and set and just have peace of mind? I've had my guard up for so long that I don't know how I can let it down. If I leave the RE, I'll have a chance at a fresh start. A true fresh start, not just avoiding the problem by physically removing myself from the island. But if I leave the RE, I suddenly won't know how to see myself. My values up until now will be all negated. Several days later. In the end, I leave the RE running, but give instructions to 1111 to start an initiative to loosen the ranking system. I know that if I just destroy the RE, there would be no dog to pick up the pieces. The entire island so far is completely dependent on the arena structure. From the way dogs interact, our assigned occupations, and even their self-definition are all based on rankings. This would need to be slowly eased out. I could be the one to oversee the entire process, but I know that I would eventually leave the island if the initiative were done. So I don't think I should be the island's new leader. In a post-RE world, I don't fully belong on the island. I think it is the right thing to do, to let the island find its own new leaders when the day comes. 2 weeks later. I've summoned the candidate Quayle, Sid. She's waiting outside. Oh good, you can send her inside. 1111 nods once, swiftly exiting my office. Several moments later, the door slides open and Quayle pokes her head inside. Hey, you can come in now, have a seat, and close the door. Quayle nods and closes the door behind her. Well, you know, I wouldn't call you all the way here if it weren't good news. Yay, I'm glad you are coming. Well, you believed in me after all. I've made plans to keep the RE running, though. After a lot of thought, just demolishing it would leave the island in more chaos than not. But I've pushed a plan that will slowly reduce the hold of the arenas. It just depends on how well the RE members follow my plan 100%, even after I'm gone. Sounds good. I'm so excited for you, Sid. You know what? I'm grateful that you came back for me. I think without a reminder that there is more to my life than just being a different type of slave to the RE. Don't worry, Sid. It's all in the past. So, are you ready? Yep, it's time. Feather, let me cross over to Canada. It's been a long time since I've seen this rift. On the other side is my past life in Canada. One that I had given up, all because of the temptation of the RE's power. I raise a paw tentatively and push it through the rift. I look back at Quayle. She nods encouragingly at me. Oh, and one thing, Sid. No matter what happens, I'll be right by your side. I nod in return, crossing over. The air is much crisper, drier. I feel the wind ruffle my coat. Through the rift, I see Quayle coming towards me. She crouches down and jumps through the rift. Now we are one again. Huh? How was you when you were me? You wished to become a dog like me, and so I became Quayle, but now I'm back in you, Sid. What? Thanks for playing. We hope you enjoyed what? I'm not sure I got that. extras? Ah, nice. We do have a gallery. Look at all the cute doggos. He's a little pixelated, but he's so cute. Bop. Alright, well, that's ending number 1 of Summer with the Shiba Inu. There's actually 6. We're only doing 1 on stream. I'm doing all of them, but I'm only doing 1 on stream. But I really wanted to finish the game today. Also because I'll be busy. Probably be sleepy tomorrow. I'll be busy on Saturday. I don't even know about Sunday. Then it would be a long time until I got back to it, and I would probably forget some stuff. So anyway, 3:24. Let's change to Ni no Kuni, and I will be right back.